Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
we're
Welcome
live.
everyone. Welcome everyone. A lot of juicy and exciting news today. Hope you guys are excited as us, right?
Yeah, super,
Yeah.
super excited. I did have 16 people hanging out, and we are a bit later tonight, folks. So our apologies. We have been actually working here for about the last. I've been on here since about 6 o'clock, getting ready for tonight's show. So we got lots to show, courtesy of FFG, of course. They've done a lot of spoilers today.
Yeah.
Product shots, painted models on the releases, card drops, spoilers. We are also kind of getting back in the regular routine, Joe. So we got to catch up because we didn't talk Op Luke or Op Vader. We didn't talk tanks either, but we definitely can't fit in all the new drops plus Luke plus Op Vader in tonight's show. So
And
we will revisit the heavies for sure.
yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't mind spending at least a couple of minutes chatting about the RP or the Prime over the weekend too. So, which was awesome, and that's kind of where I got the request to talk about Operative Luke and Operative Vader. So, they weren't legal this weekend. They're gonna be legal next weekend. There's more primes next weekend. There's primes every weekend, I think, until the end of the month.
Yeah,
So,
I'm at a prime this not this coming weekend, the weekend after. So, um, yeah. Just some hot drops here in the hot drops in the chat here. We have Alpaz coming in with super nerds because
yeah.
Alpaz, friend of the show. More importantly here, Tyler just is dropping that Saber tank is shipping. So
Yes.
that's nice, real
I
nice.
saw that today. So actually, if you look at the FFG website, Phase 2s, B2s, and both tanks have changed their status to shipping now, and they have an official release date listed as the 28th. So we
Yep.
should be getting them here soon. I think they'll be legal for Worlds if this stays on track. This is a
Awesome.
big thing.
I
Yeah.
feel like we should just start providing loan application links in the Legion Academy descriptions here because with the drops this month plus tanks, phase
Yeah.
twos, commando droids, all the new releases today, you might as well just start filling out some applications. So there might be a revenue stream we can tap into there, Joe. So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. We'll talk about that
We'll have to
later.
we'll have to hire some bruisers and
Yeah.
just
We'll go to our pledge screen later, and the camera image has just been subtly switched to saber tanks. So just fund the purchase of some saber tanks. Just kidding.
yeah.
But really,
And yeah, so I mean, because we saw so much stuff today, it took us a little bit of extra time to build out the UI. Well, I should say it took Sean a little bit of
yeah.
extra time,
Put
and
let's
I
put a
just
correction.
managed to, in the several hours time, I managed to build one poison droid
Yeah.
while
So
I
the
was just
math.
annoying him and making demands
Yeah.
here.
So the math conversion tonight is one poison droid to everything that you're about to see in the next hour and a half. So yeah, so Joe's gonna carry everything tonight because as I'm doing things, he's like, "Well, can you do this?" Yes, I can, Joe. That's just gonna take me another 10 minutes, but I'll whip that up for you. No problem. I got this.
Appreciate it.
So
So,
yeah,
always, you're always here to serve, and you do a great job, Sean.
fair. That's
Always do
fair.
an excellent job.
I better get at least one thumbs up in chat for the work
Yeah,
tonight. So.
someone give this guy a thumbs up, will you? I mean, come on.
Awesome. Response,
Oh man,
nothing.
0.
But we do have 26 people hanging out, so at least one of those people will probably enjoy what we have to share. So we are on the clock tonight because we try not to make this a 7 hour episode. It is later in the evening, and we probably understand most of you guys have other things to do. But should we crack on? No, actually, let's start with your RPQ. Let's do that. Hey, I got a thumbs up, by the way. Two thumbs up.
All
We're
right,
counting. All
all
right,
right.
go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about the Prime. So
Yeah.
it was really fun. Yet again, second time going to Misty Mountain Games for an invite style qualifier tournament. I went to their RPQ earlier. Now I was at the Prime. Great community up there. A lot of the same guys that came down for Game Storm's event, so it was nice to see everyone again. building relationships in the Midwest with a lot of different little local areas, and we all come together for these primes and RPQs. And it's actually one of the reasons I really love these store events for that reason. Get to see some people that you don't, you talk to, but you don't always see throughout the year. Definitely saw an interesting like local meta up there that don't really see in our local area. Multiple players playing speeder bikes, which was cool. Shout outs to Jay, who played them very well. Someone else I know for sure played them. So it's nice to see that there's some bike players up in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Also, just an overwhelmingly large amount of Imperial Shore Trooper gun lines. Seems to be there. Like, it was like 90% that. I think they had a full 32 people where we had 31, so they got the full 32.
That's good.
Shout outs to Matt Swick for not showing up.
Nice.
And
yeah, stay home, Matt.
Yeah. And no, but yeah, so it was a lot of shore trooper gun lines, right? And so I told you before on the cast that my new goal for the rest of the year, just for fun, was to try to win the best in faction prize with all 4 factions. So this was going to be my attempt at trying to play Imperials. Probably the wrong decision because it was only Imperial players. So I was like, I guess unless I finish first, I'm not getting that.
Right.
Which I ended up going 3-1, and I'm pretty happy about that considering the list I played I had never played before. So it was pretty good. I played the 3 wins I got were against Rebels. 2 of them were Luke Sabine. One of the Luke Sabines was a Tauntaun list. One of the Luke Sabines was an ATRT list. And then a Leia Chewie triple rotary ATRT list. My final game was literally against the mirror match. The only difference was the way that we shuffled around a few upgrades. That last game I lost. It was basically key positions. Most of the table was irrelevant. We lined up our entire armies in like a Civil War style. We have 2 firing lanes and we're going to converge on the middle. We were just laughing the whole time because we're like, okay, this game is going to be a pure game of dice rolling. Like, whoever rolls the better dice is going to win. There's no strategy here whatsoever. We're just going to gun line each other in like a 8-inch wide space by the like length of the table.
Right.
What ended up happening is we both basically almost tabled each other. We played full 6 rounds. I had Krennic and 3 Death Trooper models alive at the end of the game. He had Krennic, I think 4 Death Trooper models alive, and a lone unit leader. So he beat me by a unit leader. That last unit leader,
close game.
I had 1 shot with my Death Troopers, shot him after their suppression cover, hit him for 2. He rolls 2 saves. I was like, that's game.
Yep.
If I would have killed that unit leader, I would have won on points because my Death Troopers were more expensive than his.
I think
it's a tie.
I just want to point out my LVO game was very much like that. The game that I lost, it was very close, and came down to we were really working hard, both of us, on the last turn. You always want to come out on the winning end of those. I don't think there's anybody who would argue against that. However, in a loss like that, one of the things, this is a personal opinion, but one of the things that I really take away from that is I feel good that I was in it the whole time, and a dice roll the other way, and that's a victory for me. So you don't feel great about the loss, but you feel that you feel good about being in the game right up to the end. And so you can't go away from a loss like that thinking that was a bad game. It was never really you described it to me already before, but it was never really a bad game for you. You enjoyed it. You want the outcome to be different.
Was awesome. The table was like an Ewok village with multiple tiers and bridges and all these big trees and stuff. Really cool table. It's basically one of those things where there's no reason to feel bad about it. And how could I feel bad? I never played the list that I brought. I was there for fun, and I had a blast. Everyone was fun. Every one of my games was nice. I never saw any animosity, never saw any bad stuff. All my opponents were great. All the people I talked to that weren't even my opponents for the day were great. Great store, great community. Loved it up there. Can't wait to go to the next one.
Right.
So, Yeah, it's good stuff. Man, the crazy thing, one thing I'd like to throw out about the Empire Gunline mirror match is like you have such powerhouse units that even when you feel behind, you can totally swing back. Like there
Right.
was a time where I was like down 2 activations, and then all of a sudden I played Bosk's 2 pip and one-shotted 2 activations and like tied back up. And it's like you can't underestimate that. It's nutty. So
Question for you here, Joe. Unrelated to anything you were saying, but you were playing Empire. So, Krennic Entourage question: does Entourage still go off when Krennic is not the nominated commander?
yes, it does.
Yeah.
So in the list I was playing, it was Krennic, Bosk, Death Troopers,
Hmm.
and then like 3 snipers, and then the Shore Trooper gun
Did
line.
you
Right?
have comms relay off the Death Troopers?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna get at here.
Yep.
So the thing is, the Death Troopers get that entourage order every turn, even when you play Bosk's command cards that
Yep.
normally only order him. But if you put a relay on your Death Troopers, you can control and order Bosk on every turn.
Yep.
Or even when like Bosk plays a 1 pip, you can like entourage relay onto your shores, do the whole chain with your shores and mortars,
Yep.
bounce back around. Lots of really like cheesy stuff that I think is a little overpowered that people have been discussing ad nauseum. I'm not even going to bother commenting on it. We all know it's a little ridiculous, but yeah, you could do a lot of cool shenanigans with that list.
For
And
sure.
yeah, comms relay on Death Troopers is totally a thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think I'll save my preparation for Prime till next week because it's not this weekend anyway. So we'll still have another show just in the interest of time, and then we'll kind of go on there. So. Yeah, so good question, David, and feel free to ask
Yeah.
questions throughout the night here. So jump back up to 24 people. So let's give the people what they came for, Joe. So what we are going to do, let me just give you a rundown of what we got happening tonight. So we're going to do a droids promo. So we got a new unit there. We're going to do a CAD promo. We're going to look at the cards. We're not going to talk in depth because the cards aren't spoiled in full, but they were up previously and now are subsequently down. But we do have some shots of those. Then we're going to talk about ARC Troopers. Then we're going to talk about Padme. Then we're going to show you the cards for them. Then we're going to talk about Operative Luke. We'll show you his kind of sculpt and cards. We'll talk about all 3 command cards. Then we'll do the same thing for Vader. So really super packed show. So
Yeah.
before we do that, though, as always, we should probably just acknowledge our pledge supporters as well as give a shout out to our Patreon. So just bringing this up here, folks. So as always, want to mention these guys every week. We said we would. So we got Michael, Nathan, Mike, Al, Jeff, and Nick on our pledge wall right now. So got us up to 270 credits as I jokingly said, working towards some tanks. Truthfully, it's not. It's just to add a 3rd camera here in studio so we can do some 800 point and to bring you guys a little bit of extra camera angles for Friday night fights. As always, if you want to support the show other than watching, which is a support all in and of itself, the PayPal for us is theterrainstudio2019@gmail.com. Anything helps. Don't feel obligated, but as I said, it just truthfully helps us out. So as always, we want to acknowledge our Patreon folks as well. So Joe, you can give a shout out to those guys for us.
Yeah, just want to say thanks yet again, everyone, for the Patreon support. We had 2 people drop out of the token subscription this week, and then immediately we're backfilled with 2 new people. So it's exciting to see that there's like tons of interest there. In terms of the token shipping, I started packaging some stuff up, started getting stuff sorted this week. It's been a busy week between, school, work, all this stuff, but got it going, still sorting. Gonna, should be a few more days of that, and then hopefully we'll have this shipped out probably later this week, or if not early next week. I do have some extra time over the weekend to get more done and get caught up on that if I don't have that done before. So thank you guys for your patience, for your support, for your patronage, and we really appreciate it. And I think you'll like what we have in the works. And I guess maybe now would be a great time to transition to the new stuff because it looks like there's a lot of new tokens in play, right? Like,
Yeah,
a lot of new stuff.
We got a lot.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with the squishy stuff, and then Joe's gonna get into the hard hitting stuff. So really, truthfully, all I'm gonna talk about is cool looking models. So first off, can't wait to assemble more really finicky, spindly droids. I'm gonna say that right off the hop. But
Yep.
truthfully, this model for me, all about those shields and swords. Like,
Yeah.
does it from a distance? This might really strike you as almost like a skeleton type unit, right? They're really spindly. They got that humanoid look for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I love the paint job on this. Of course, it's got a little bit of what I'm referring to as kind of like an orangish brown, which I love.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
shields are cool. I did not watch the whole live stream. I was in a meeting all day today, but from what my understanding is that those shields are actually optional. You can include them on the
Yes.
models or not.
Yep.
I'm thinking, why not? I'm hoping that they come with enough shields to do all of them. I'm not sure if that will be the case or not, or if they said that, but
Here's the thing. So as you can see, they kind of mentioned some of this on the stream.
mhm.
As you can see, there are 7 models here,
Yes.
right? But the full squad, I think it's basically the equivalent, from what it sounds like to me. It's basically the equivalent of the current Scout
Scouts.
Troopers
Yeah.
and Rebel Commandos, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to either run a strike team or a full set.
Yep.
So we're getting 7 models. You're never going to put 7 models in one squad.
No. I'm just
So
wondering if you
maybe
could run
maybe there's
five with
five.
shields. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
there's
that's
5 shields. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see when we get the sprue. But I gotta say, there's a couple cool things that they mentioned that I kind of want to recap because I thought was interesting. First of all, they mentioned that they did a lot of experimentation on this clear plastic for the shield. Okay, so they said 4 shields. Fair
Yep.
enough.
Yep.
Um, so the shields are actually made out of, I believe they said, styrene, so they can be glued with plastic glue, which
Right.
I thought was awesome. Because the plastic, clear plastic tends to fog. They mentioned that it tends to fog when you use super glue, but you can use plastic glue on these. They also mentioned that for the other 3 things that we're going to show, that they showed earlier today, they based the likeness more on the films, but these guys were never in the film, so they had to borrow from the cartoon. So they
Cartoon.
kind of
Yeah.
have more of an animated feel, cartoony look. They said, hey, they're basically as skinny as B1s, so I'm not expecting the sprues to be any less challenging to deal with. Although hopefully their heads are one piece instead of two. That's just my
No,
hope.
there's
But
three actually.
yeah, it's like great. But the one thing I think is really cool that I didn't even notice when I first saw this image, but they mentioned it, and now it caught my eye, is that you can they meticulously sculpted the shield so that you can put the gun
Gun.
through
Yeah.
the shield if you want, and I think that
Yeah.
looks amazing.
It does look really,
Yeah.
really sharp. So, Jamie's pointing out here to just buy 2 boxes. I'm wondering why he's limiting everyone here.
Ooh,
Just
go 3, man. They're gonna have strike teams.
yeah,
You
for
know how
sure.
everyone likes to stack up 3 snipers, right?
For sure.
That's like
Yeah,
the hotness.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so just I mean, we have the as I said, the image here courtesy of FFG, but those swords just look awesome. I'm almost
Amazing.
disappointed that they didn't do the painted version with the kind of the purpley blade look here. That would have really stood
Yeah.
out super sharp. But I mean, that's just nitpicky. To say the least. But really love the stances, the dynamic look. Like you got some of them bracing with the shields, some of them advancing with the shields, more stationary with the shields. Looks absolutely fantastic. I like the running sort of sniper model here.
Yeah.
Almost changing positions. They did talk about posability and the fact that they are making them so that you can do a lot with them. I think I did catch a few minutes that they were saying something about the B2s are kind of more kind of what you like one fig, one pose basically. Um,
Yeah.
but they did mention that these were more posable like the B1s, and I think the B1s are also with a little bit of work you can do quite a bit with them. I've done quite a bit with my B1s with very little effort. So, but definitely fantastic looking models here. So, we're not going to jump into
Yeah. I
the
can't wait.
cards just yet. But did you have anything else before we jump into CAD?
No, actually, I was pretty much going to mention exactly what you said, so we can move on if you want. I was just going to talk about posability and options, but yeah,
Sure.
let's go on to the next one. Let's look at Cad Bane.
All right. So here's Cad.
All right, Cad Bane. I love the character. I love the sculpt. I love that there's multiple options for the sculpt. Um, I've said this before about other boxes that we've been getting lately. Clone Wars was so important to me as a like a child and young man, I guess, because I watched the original Star Wars trilogy when I was really young, but then like as I was like in the eighth grade through high school, or maybe like sixth or seventh grade through high school range, that's when I was like getting into like the prequels and the Clone Wars and stuff. So always loved this character. Um, and I can see myself buying two boxes just to build both sculpts
For
because
sure.
I'm just that nuts for it. Both of them are awesome. I mean, I love the cowboy hat look, and
Yeah, and
I love the gunslinger look too.
I did, like I said, I just caught, I was starting to listen to it as I got home, but of course I had to jump on here and build these out. So I'm building them out. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that, and I'm looking at little things. I did catch though, they did mention that the hat is actually separate. So on
Hmm.
the other pose where it's showing the hat, I think you can actually have it in that pose with the hat not
Yes,
attached. So the head
yes,
is not, it's not a hatted head and an unhatted head. So
right.
um, yeah, and I'm trying to think of all the cool things that you can do, with the hat. Maybe the hat's kind of flying back off it. Maybe it's kind of on a string and sort of stripped over the back, or maybe the hat's on the ground, or maybe there's a bullet hole through the hat as Cad Bane's taking fire.
Oh
There's
yeah,
just
there's so many cool options for conversions and customization. It's like awesome. I'm loving the new like format of these sculpts and stuff. How they're really going to the true, fully customizable sprue hard plastic format. It's really good.
just want to throw this out here to the community. You're welcome for this. Just buy your Cad Banes on pre-order because apparently Ben is buying a million copies of this. So,
Oh, I think I said a billion
oh,
copies, not
never
a
mind.
million.
He's buying a billion. My mistake. Well,
I would highly recommend, Ben, you maybe start your journey to collect those maybe in like Italy or one of the South American countries. They tend to get those before we do.
yeah.
Maybe France. I don't know. I did head over there first,
I
but
mean,
yeah, save some for the rest of us, man.
yeah. I
Come on.
mean, most people come in with two at the most. I
Yeah.
really like Ben's enthusiasm for this model for sure. A billion seems excessive, but I mean, who am I to judge? So,
Yeah.
just
Not
crazy.
judging.
Yeah, not
Not
judging.
judging.
So we'll talk about the rest of it, but let's have a look at the sculpts. Are you a double gun pose, or are you sort of checking out the what are those? They're called what's his sort of cufflinks called? They're electro
Yeah, it looks
something.
it looks like it's well, he's got electro gauntlets, but
Yeah,
it looks
Recco
like he's
gauntlets. Yeah,
almost like
exactly.
speaking into a comms link or like
Yeah,
setting a detonation charge or
yeah.
something.
I definitely envision it something like that for sure. So. I don't know. I'm kind of in the double gun pose, but double gun pose with the hat. So we got basically three sculpts on the screen here now. So
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm going if I only build one at first, it's gonna have the hat. The
I
hat's too iconic.
but I think personally for me, I and we'll kind of get into this a little bit more, but what about kind of a half-inch rise where he's got the rocket boots going?
Okay. Yeah, he does have the jump keyword. We're gonna see that in a second.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm mostly talking about what if my guy starts leaving the perimeter of the base, or what about adding some extra height to Cad Bane? Is that going to be an issue come down the in the
Well, it's
future?
it's it's definitely not, and I
Right.
was actually I was gonna save this for
Oh, I
when
know
we
you
show the
are.
art.
I know you are. So
But
that's where.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Great segue. So one of the things that was super 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 cool that they announced today. Why don't you go to the next image? Is the next image ARC Troopers or
It's
no?
not, it's cards, but let's
Okay.
just let's just you
All
and
right.
I pop back on here for a
Let's
second.
reconvene.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
talk about
reconvene.
this. So one of the things that has been a consistent problem in this game, especially in the competitive world, has been like the true line of sight profile and modeling for advantage, modeling for disadvantage, that conversation that's been coming up over and over and over again since the game came out. We've seen people cut the lightsaber off their Luke so that Luke can be hidden better.
Yep.
We've seen people cut the front inch of their Z6s off so they can tuck them behind walls better.
Yep.
We've seen people convert stormtroopers and rebel troopers because I've heard the argument, the stormtrooper unit leader's sticking his hand out and the rebel trooper unit leader's got his hand tucked in holding binoculars.
Yep.
Rebels are better. All this stupid stuff, right? Operative Vader, Celebration Vader's on like a half-inch tall volcanic rock structure, right? Why would you play him over the regular Vader? He's taller. That's not good. So FFG finally addressed that today. They talked about how, and Alex said it could come as soon as the next 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm wondering if this is something they're planning on rolling out at Worlds. They're going to release a widget or a tool or something, and I don't know in what capacity they're going to distribute this. I have no idea what it's going to look like yet. I can speculate based on what I've seen from other game systems, but it's basically going to be a tool that you can hold in front of your sculpt or behind your sculpt, and if you cannot see this like rectangle or whatever it's going to be, you do not have line of sight. That way you're encouraged to hobby any way you want. You want to stack your General Grievous, who's already a tall model, on top of a stack of clone bodies and make him 2 inches taller? Do it, because you can only shoot the rectangle, even if you can see his head and his chest, right? So that kind of came on the heels of this announcement today that there's going to be these ARC troopers that have these amazing dynamic flight poses. And people were immediately like, oh no, how will I hide those guys? I'm not going to hobby them that way. Well, they were quick to address that, and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, and we'll see more about that as we pop through here. I want to point this out here. I see where Ben's working up to 1 billion Cad Banes. He's saying Cad Bane clone armor. So take a clone, pop the head off, put a Cad Bane head in.
There's an episode.
Yep.
Yeah, there's an episode where he kills, I believe the guy's name is Denal or Denal.
Yeah.
And
he's on the ship
kills him and takes his armor. Yeah.
Yep.
He's a I believe a 501st clone and disguises himself. That's an awesome idea, Ben. I'm stealing that idea.
I mean, he's 3 on his way to 1 billion, so he's probably got a lot more ideas. So
I might have to borrow one.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well let's pop over to the what we do see for the cards. So here's where Joe can start going crazy about token potential.
Oh, I'm freaking out already. Look at all those new tokens.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that is awesome. So let's look at Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Jump, awesome, love it. Bounty. So now we've seen the bounty keyword now come up in multiple factions. That was one of the first thing that got me so excited, because I'm like, oh my god, I can run a Dooku list and still bring the bounty keyword in play. This is going to be nasty. Forget double the fall. I'm loving the idea of Dooku Bane right off the bat. Just threaten with the bounty. Yeah. He's got danger sense, so we've seen that on Jin. We've seen that on the Pathfinders. He's going to roll extra defense dice as he takes suppression. Always good, especially considering he's rolling white with surge saves. So he's rolling basically rebel trooper saves, but now, he could stack up danger sense if you need to overexpose him or something. He's got sharpshooter 1 and 4 black dice at range 1 to 2 with pierce 1. Pretty good. Solid damage.
Surge up, surge down for offense, defense.
Yep. So and then surge to hit, not surge to crit. So and no access to like the critical keyword. So I think you're still going to need a good roll if you're shooting at something that's going to be in heavy cover down to light. But pierce. It's probably killing something.
We gotta talk electro gauntlets at 4 red dice.
That's so okay. That, and also, what's that last keyword? I'm having a hard time.
It's immobilize 3. And I know that
I was talking on his card. Is it steady?
On his card. Yeah, it does look like steady.
So basically that's relentless, but only for
Yeah,
ranged attack, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he can double move and still shoot. He
Yes.
could jump over something, move, and still shoot, right?
Yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
that's nice. Or
Yeah.
shoot and then jump over a building and get out of dodge,
Yep.
right? So that's cool. But yeah, Electro Gauntlets, man, that's the hotness right there. It's basically Whipcord on steroids. It looks like, right? It's
Yeah.
a mobilized 3. It's a 4 red attack in melee, which he's surging, and it says that you get to leave the melee like that you're engaged in
Yeah.
after you solve the attack,
Yeah.
and
It's
combine that with jump or something.
quite
See,
ridiculous.
this is what I'm talking about with the Dooku synergy, or even the Grievous synergy. I'm gonna root you in place. I'm gonna jump out of the way. You're
Hmm.
stuck there, and now
Yep.
here comes Dooku to finish you off. Here comes Grievous to finish you off.
Yep.
You know, that seems nasty.
Hmm. Cad
So
can quickly jump out, quickly immobilize, get back. If he takes any damage, he's got that. I don't know what command card it is or ability, but the one where he's kind of just farming off damage.
there's well,
We saw that somewhere today. Yeah, I did watch the cat or when they were talking about Cad. Um,
so this like 3-pip looks insane. I don't really even kind of understand what it does. It's like during the deploy unit step. Can you make out that text? It's kind of
mm, Not there, but I think that bottom section because it's similar to Padme, and that they said it was divulge. I think.
yeah. So I think okay, divulge. I guess you're gonna. I don't know, but it looks like it's gonna have some sort of interaction with these new tokens. It looks like there's some sort of explosion mechanic on there, the same way that like Bosk has one or Sabs.
Oh yeah,
Looks
there
like
we
there's
go.
a
Yeah,
like an
uh,
area
yeah.
explosion.
Dan's given me the info here. It was the I'm in charge. Yeah, that's what they shared. That's where they talked about the I don't know something to do like farm off
Oh, okay. No,
his damage.
I'll no. I wanted to talk about that because I
Okay,
was watching that on stream, and that's another thing I thought was disgusting, and it kind of ties into this other unit.
sure.
So I don't know the specific wording. Maybe it's in the article. You can go look it up. It's definitely in the stream if you go back and watch it. But it's basically like he can take all the suppression that's on him,
Hmm.
which he's going to be stacking them up because of danger sense and
Yep.
his courage 3. Then he can dish those suppression off and redistribute them to anyone in range 1 to 2, like enemies.
Is it only suppression?
I think it's only suppression,
I
but
thought for sure it said damage. I could be wrong. Check it.
maybe.
Chat, help us out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, I know for sure it's suppression.
Yep.
And then after you dish out that suppression, you then you put an immobilized token on anyone who took a suppression.
Right.
So think about that. You're doing like an explosive bomb of immobilized tokens potentially, and now you combine that with again Dooku or Grievous is like 1-pip. Uh, Imagine you like do that play as a last, and then you go into Grievous's 1-pip as a first,
Hmm.
and everything's
Everybody's
rooted in
there.
place.
Yeah.
Or if you can see here, and we don't really know what it is yet, but if you look at the Commandos on the right hand side, they've
Hmm.
got a saboteur. It's a
Right.
Dioxis saboteur.
Yeah. Well,
So
definitely Dioxis. We got the token, so we know that for sure. Yeah.
right,
And it
well,
is just suppression. I thought it was damage, but that makes sense. Suppression,
yeah,
just as good, I guess.
that's immediately my head went to that combo. I'm like, wait, I can immobilize everyone and then I can sab bomb them while they're rooted in place with a poison token. I'm
Or
assuming. I mean, it says Dioxis, and there's a bunch of poison tokens on the screen, so it's not a secret. I mean, that's insane.
yeah. Um. Okay, so just some chat here. Jamie was thinking that was just friendly units and not enemy units that get that. So,
I thought it was both.
yeah, well, it could very well be. Here's the thing on your point, Joe.
Mhm.
Why are we thinking just one Dioxys? Chances are
Oh, I'm
probably
running.
you could get three in there. And I mean, if they're not going anywhere, they're not going anywhere. Special,
We don't know what they
yeah,
cost. They could
yeah,
be
yeah, fair.
insanely
Yeah, that
expensive.
is true.
I would
Um,
assume with a keyword that strong that they probably are, but I don't
they,
know, man. Either
yeah,
way,
I doubt they're priced.
Sabs.
Yeah, I doubt they're priced out of competitiveness like with other, similar priced units. Probably going to be paying a little bit of a premium with the Dioxys keyword on there. That seems to be a little bit more potent.
Yeah,
But perhaps we don't even know what they roll out. Maybe their actual damage output of the bomb is considerably lower.
right.
And
Yeah,
if
I don't know.
it is, that lessens the potency of poison because it's got to get, or is it poison or Dioxys?
Well, it
It's
says
probably,
Dioxys. We can't see,
yeah,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is it like Bosk's Dioxys, or is it the
like
Poison
poison,
X
like,
keyword
yeah,
like we saw in the radiation
radiation.
can?
Yeah, that's
Because
fair.
that makes a big difference. Do you
Totally
have to
makes a
take a
difference.
wound, or do you just get a poison on you for free? We don't know yet.
Yep,
Hopefully, it's Poison X, because I
yep.
think it might just be like too broken if it's not. But
Hmm.
we'll have to wait and see. I don't
Just
know.
just thinking about something here. It seems like Chad has confirmed that maybe it's both. And so then your immediate thought is, why would I want to immobilize something? Is there potentially a scenario, and this is kind of getting, it's not too extreme, but if you have a unit that's so suppressed,
Hmm.
not that they're going to be losing actions, but let's just say it's late game, you've lost commander, you're well out of your panic threshold, or well over rather. Could you
Hmm.
immobilize one of your own units to prevent a flee?
I think it's only one immobilized token, so if they move at speed two,
Two,
that's not right.
fair, but you would be slowing
But
them
yeah,
down.
that's an
Yeah,
interesting tactic I didn't even consider.
yeah.
Also, the other thing too is like if this is potentially like a turn six card, and you just want to dish off, maybe you're playing key positions,
Yep.
maybe you've got a bunch of droids on the position that they're holding.
Hmm.
You just want to shake off all your suppression basically.
Yep.
I don't care if I immobilize my droids. They're already standing where they need to be.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I give my droids suppression because droids don't lose actions from being
Yep.
suppressed.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of synergies there. I think there's going to be a lot of clever uses of that card. We'll have to see over time, what works and what doesn't. But
Well,
I love it. I think it's
yeah.
great. It's a great design.
I think you're onto something with a turn six play, because how many times are people moving to tap that last key position with 3-4 units? You farm
Yeah,
off, 3-4 immobilized tokens, and it's like, well, I guess you're going to be either slowed or not going anywhere. So
not getting there. Yeah, and
yeah,
then that's massive.
yeah, for sure. No,
Awesome.
that seems pretty awesome. Okay, well, like I
Yeah, it
said,
looks like
we can't see too
we
much in here. We see a
no,
sniper unit
got a
here. Looks
sniper. We've
lethal.
got vibro swords. Looks like it's going to have some sort of actual. It's going to be like an upgrade you pay for. We've got
Um,
shields, which looks like it's an upgrade you
Guardian,
pay for.
and it looks like Guardian. I would say that word's Guardian.
Mm.
Looks like Guardian
Oh,
to me.
wow. So they can
You
guard.
gain,
Well, they're.
well, you gain Guardian. It looks like you
Oh,
gain Guardian. I don't know what that number is, one, two, three, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, that to me looks like Guardian.
but that could be interesting because the the droids roll red saves and have impervious and with
and
aggressive.
sh- and shields.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't know how that interaction will work. Can you spend shield tokens on a guardian? I don't
Hmm.
know because that's
Not
never
sure.
come up before.
Yeah.
There, but yeah, I'm just looking at red saves, impervious, surge tokens from aggressive tactics. Now you're rolling red with surge saves
And do
and the
and do
ability to guardian. Maybe you could just like save Dooku's life or something, save Grievous's life, just peel off a wound or two, and
okay,
that
here's
clutch.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing, just speculation here. The droid,
Okay.
the commando unit comes with 7 models. Is that what we saw? Let me just pop back there for a second.
Believe so.
7 models. Okay.
Yep.
So my speculation is unit of 4, you can
Hmm.
add an extra body, and then you got the 2 for your strike team.
Okay.
If it comes with 4 models base, and we know that the shields are an added upgrade, my guess
Yep.
is that each of them, not each of them, but you do get a shield per droid. Why else
I
would you
think
have
so.
4 tokens?
Yeah, I think so.
Because like if the shield is optional, then like to model it, then
Hmm.
I don't think there's a reason to have an extra card. But
Right.
it looks to me, oh, actually, here's an interesting thing. I wonder why they give you 2 copies, because that's what it looks like. Unless you can run one in your squad and
Well,
one in your
yeah,
strike
and
team.
I don't know if their intention is one box gets you a full squad and a strike team.
Oh,
'Cause
maybe.
technically, you're going to get both cards. Technically,
Yeah.
you're going to get 7 models. That's 2 plus 4 is 6,
Yeah.
right?
So it
I
looks
think you can probably out of one box run 2 full squads.
okay. Let's just speculate here for a second. Now, here's the thing. The commando droids to me seem to be a little bit more survivable than the B ones, right? B ones are like
Oh,
barely able to walk upright and forward, and commando
100%.
droids are like flipping, doing cartwheels, all this sort of stuff. So so they're looking at this. We can see they have 1 health. So
Yep.
I mean, red die saves are nice, but potentially that is, instead of having and we don't know if they have surge. I don't think they have surge defense. Looks like that is
It
just
doesn't look like
surge
it.
offense. So potentially, rather than give them surge defense, it's just
Hmm.
straight up like I discount a hit with my shield, and now I'm rolling red dice. You know,
And hey, man, aggressive tactics.
that's
That's
what I mean. So
yeah.
coupled with that, I'm thinking, wow, are these guys ever survivable? I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking you get 4 and you get 4 tokens. It doesn't seem to me like there would be an upgrade that would grant you shields.
Hmm.
Just kind of doing simple math here. And then the shield itself doesn't look like it mentions anything about shields. To me, that reads guardian. And I'm thinking if it
Right.
added shields, then there would be some other keyword or at least more text. So yeah, just
Yeah.
kind of using our sleuthy, zoom enhance. That's kind of
Yep.
my speculation there. So cool. Does that read scale on those droids?
I think so. Dude, scale. Scout 3, I think.
Yeah, that
Man,
definitely says
oh
scout,
my god.
but scale. I mean, scale makes complete sense. Like I said, these guys were
Yes.
basically Cirque du Soleil of the droid world.
Yes. No, man,
So
I'm so excited. This is
yes,
what I've been waiting for, some Sabs, triple Sabs plus Cad Bane and Dooku. I'm like, man, there's going to be some cool lists. Everyone said that the Clone Wars factions are a little stale because we don't have all the releases. Now we're getting a peek into all these releases, and I'm loving what we're seeing so far.
okay. Tyler is saying shields is shield 2 with recharge 2. Where does he see shield?
It's on the card. You can see the
Uh,
deflector sheets. It's just
oh
like
no
the
no no.
top
Yeah,
card.
but I'm just thinking Shield 2 with Recharge 2. Is that's
Yep.
written on there? So that says Shield
Yeah.
2, not Guardian? Is that what he's saying?
I think. Well, why would a shield give you guardian? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I don't know. But so you
A
have
shield,
to
a shield would give you shield, right? There's shield tokens on the table. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So you
so
get
then you have to
your
pay
squad's
for it?
carrying around 2 shields. Yeah, you do. It's an upgrade card. It's
E-
literally right there.
e-
Like,
yes, I'm aware.
yeah,
But I'm just saying you don't have to. So here's the thing though. This is where this is what I don't like. Um then I would start getting into the situation where I'm seeing shields on droids that somebody maybe hasn't paid for, and now I'm
yep,
confused thinking that you have shields on your unit. This is why
yep.
I don't like things like this. This is why I was thinking they weren't going to be they were just auto include the shield token.
Uh,
But now I don't.
uh,
Now I dislike this more.
I I mean, Legion's not a what you see is what you get
No,
game.
one
So
hundred 100%, totally is. But when it
yeah.
when it kind of gets a little bit confusing like that, whether you so now you potentially can have no modeled shields but have shields, have modeled
Yep.
shields but have no shields. That just to me is yeah, okay. So weapon upgrade, upgrade card and upgrade card shields and swords are upgrades. Okay, yeah, that's what it's saying here. So okay, well whatever, I can have that gripe, I guess. But so it looks like
Yeah, that's fair.
you only have the shield if you pay for it. So I don't know what the
Mhm.
cost is. It's definitely looks like it's a double digit.
I think
But
it's 10, maybe
yeah, maybe
15.
it's
It's hard to
yeah,
see.
hard to see, but okay, well that's just something to be to keep into consideration. So I get it, weapons are easy because it's generally just one model that I'm looking at. This will be
Hmm.
yeah, shielded 2, gain 2 shield tokens and recharge 2. Oh, so maybe that's why. If you only gain shield 2,
Hmm.
um maybe it is that you actually can you have that upgrade twice to get all the shields?
no, I don't think so because that's like a straight up Legion rule that you cannot put double
Okay,
upgrade.
so walk me through
Yeah,
this then. What does shielded 2 give you? 2 tokens or 4?
two two tokens.
Okay. And
Yep.
you get 4 presumably because you can run it in the strike squad, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. See,
Okay.
two upgrade cards, four shield tokens. One's probably for the strike team. One's for the full squad.
Yeah. Okay.
Just so you can have it all out of one box. Which
Okay.
it looks. I like that they're doing that. I like that they're
Yeah.
giving you. I buy one box, get two things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's
two
interesting.
shields. The two come back at the end of the turn. Pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
that's I mean the recharge ability of that's pretty good. But yeah, no, it'd be better. I guess it would be yeah, whatever. You can't force probably is too much. So that makes sense. All right, well, in the interest of time, being 50 minutes in, let's skip to our next one, which is ARC Troopers.
Yeah, look at
So
those
probably the
skulls.
coolest looking ones that we got today, short of Cad Bane. Cad Bane might be up there for me, but I'm all about the jumpiness of these guys.
Oh yeah, me too. So yeah, it's funny because I literally watched a chat group I was in go through a wave of emotions. Uh, Jay saying he's going to need more Legion Academy Shield tokens. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
I thought 12 would be enough, but maybe not. We'll
Nope.
see.
Well, I got your droidicas covered, but now
Yeah,
you're gonna need them for the commando droids. So,
yeah.
all
Well,
right.
we'll get on that. We'll get on that. But okay, so right off the bat, everyone, these images leak. I'm at work. I'm on my laptop doing work, but I got my messenger open because I keep the chats going throughout the day. Boom, this leaks. What does everyone say? Oh man, why would I want to model my guys on these giant flight stands? So that was awesome that they did that announcement where they said they're
Yeah.
going to this new tool, which will encourage people to hobby in this awesome way. But it sounded like from the stream that these flight stands are actually modular and you can adjust the heights,
I wonder how
which
that
is cool.
works. I wonder how that
I
works.
think I think there's like one that stacks into the other one. Maybe
So,
they're
so
like,
do you think like X-wing pegs?
yeah,
You know what I
that's I
mean?
think that's kind of what it is. Yeah. And you can see the two different heights there.
Right.
So that's interesting. Another thing they mentioned, clear plastic. It's styrene. You can use plastic glue on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Ben's only going to get 1,000,000 ARC troopers, not 1,000,000,000. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, you get 7, so like
right,
7
right.
times a millions is a lot. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of troopers for sure.
we're getting. And you could see it. You can see in the front there, Echo and Fives,
Yeah, who's
unique
who?
named dark.
They
Well,
look the same.
look for the five on the. One's got a goatee.
Yeah.
Look for the handprint on the chest armor, right?
I was going with a clone joke there, Joe. So
Oh, I'm right over my head.
It's
No,
fair.
but the
It's
one
fair.
thing that they did say was cool. Well, obviously they're going to be doing a ton of different clone heads here. So
Yeah.
if you've got a little bits box going, you can start collecting all these extra pieces and saving them for your conversions. But they talked about how, like, one of them has a scar on his face. They modeled in the scar for the people that want to get their 000 brush out. There's like a lot of cool stuff there. The other thing they said is that the ARC troopers are going to come with like a phase 1 and phase 2 version of their helmet on sprue, so you can customize them to your heart's content. Plus they're like clone heads and all these different poses, and it sounds like they're going to have multiple poses, so you don't even have to model them in that flight pose. If you want your whole squad to be standing on the ground, they're going to have options for that. So probably going to be a very robust set of sprues for these guys, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And I'm probably going to have to go out and buy like 20 boxes of these.
All right. Well, 1,020,000 boxes are spoken for
Yeah.
already. So, um, here's from the hobby standpoint, just going back to chat about this. Here's the disadvantage of flight stand modeled troopers. Now your
That's it.
standard foam trays don't
Yep.
fit. So
Correct.
now you're going to have two or three types. So you're going to either have to come up with a clever way of either magnetizing the top to
Yep.
your models.
Yep.
Of course, you lose the inherent benefit of having the base, and it's a little bit more protection. So something to keep in mind when you are modeling this stuff in terms of how how strong these are. Also, single point attachments with the flight stand are going to be a lot more fragile than double. And another reason being is that you may potentially change your basing style that may or may not solidify that flight stand as well as a figure standing in ground cover or things like that. So, um,
That's really good point.
all things to kind of keep in consideration. One thing that I may actually incorporate in is doing base styles and actually magnetizing my flight stands or a pin to the bottom. It would be really nice. Obviously, they can't do it because people want to move their flight stands around. But if you were to attach a pin and actually have that go through the base just for a little bit extra surface for the attachment, I think that would make a stronger connection for sure.
Yeah.
Weighting the bases is also something I don't know if they talked about because I didn't get this far in the live stream, but I'm looking at that guy who's well above the base.
Hmm.
That is going to be significantly top heavy, and so you're
Yep.
probably going to want to do some weighting in that. So
Those are all really good points.
yeah, so just
Yeah.
just some considerations to for people to make when they're modeling for sure. They look all well and good, but you don't want to do a really nice paint job, get it all assembled, put it in your bag, travel to a tournament for the first time, get there, and your ARC troopers are all snapped off their flight stands, or flight stands are snapped off the bases. So
Yeah, that'll be my experience for the first time, because I'll completely ignore this advice, and then I'll break all my models on the way to LVO next
I,
year.
I mean, if you're a guy like Al Paz, you won't have this issue because you'll actually be assembling your ARC troopers right before they go on the table. No
Yeah,
risk of damage. Al likes to travel with all his troopers still on sprues. Then they're the most secure. And
yeah,
he just assembles them the night before. So
yep.
that's
And
fair.
yeah, we all get like real high in the hotel room when he sprays this aerosol cans,
Yeah.
chokes everyone out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Al Paz, friend of the show. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, I really like how kitted out these ARC troopers are. Like they got pouches and packs. Their armor is, just looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit more like a little bit more robust. I always liked ARC troopers. The thought of them. I've been talking about jump pack troopers forever. We maybe got a little glimpse in the newest Star Wars movie. Not that they were
Yeah,
ARC troopers, but just the idea of how cool it would be to have launching stormtroopers. Yeah, and
totally.
I don't know what kind of keywords they have. I didn't even look at the cards at this point, but we'll have a look at there. But something cool. Maybe they have some sort of keywords that incorporate other than just jump. Just the fact that they are potentially making some cool assaults, some cool attacks.
Yeah.
But anything else about arcs before we slide into looking at Padme here?
No, no, that covers it. Love the
Okay,
sculpt.
first off, completely offended by this. I'm going to
Oh my
avert my
God.
eyes
Yeah. Censor it.
immediately. Wow,
Censor it.
I didn't even, we didn't give a proper spoiler. We probably lost at least one person in chat just because of this photo alone. I mean, that's an aggressive midriff right there. That's all I'm going to say.
I love the sculpt. I love the dynamic pose. I love the options. I love the scarf can be on or off. It looks awesome.
Do you love the fact that the hair bun is actually a separate piece?
Yeah. Is that what did they confirm that today? I hope that's not true.
That was at the start of like I said, I only got so far in, but I'm pretty sure they said the hair bun. Maybe that was a joke. I don't know.
Maybe it
I
was a
really
joke.
feel it's not a joke, and that's
Might
something
not be,
FFG
though.
would
Hey, we've
entirely
seen
do.
these B1s.
Yeah. I'm surprised she
But
doesn't have bracelets that are separate pieces.
yeah, we'll see. But I like how she has two different guns. So we'll see how that plays out. So she must have some sort of upgrade or something. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely liking the scarf / poncho version much
Mhm.
better.
Yep.
And yet I like the extended barrel blaster better than the whatever rifle blaster
Me
that is.
too.
So
Me too. That looks like almost like a standard E5C
yeah, it
or
does.
something, or a standard E11 versus
right.
her more unique blaster, which I like.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I completely agree.
It's a super aggressive barrel. I like that.
Mhm.
I do like the pose. The stance is really good.
Mhm.
I don't know, like, other than the scarf, it looks like the body pose is the same, but I'm not sure how much you can change the stance on that. I think you could probably easily heat and twist the torso a little bit if you wanted to
Yeah.
kind of change that. Now that we're not having barrels potentially be the giveaway, either one would be fine because obviously the Naboo blaster there, whatever that is, that one looks to be taller than her, so that would be a giveaway versus
Yep.
the E11 there sticking out, so that would be a dead giveaway. But I really like how we don't have to potentially sounds like we don't have to make those considerations anymore.
Yeah, which is good. Thank God. Yeah.
Her hair, okay. Her hair tail is totally a separate part. Okay, so I think that means the bun. That's fantastic. So you could have the I see you've gone for the the Wednesday casual look and left the bun off your Padme.
Does that mean that there's gonna be multiple hair options? I hope.
Yeah. Can you do the pigtail version of Padme?
Yeah, you could green stuff some other hair.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm going for the evening look here. So
just got out of a large Senate meeting.
Yeah. Rough day at the Senate. Messy hair Padme.
Yeah. Messy hair, don't care.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. I love how we've completely derailed talking about Padme here.
Yeah, it's completely disrespected her character. That's all right.
So Ben is trying to think of the other billion options, and he's saying, so you're saying we can add the bun to Cad Bane? Yes.
I'm not saying you can't.
Right, but that means you're probably going to require at least 2 Padmes, Ben. So my calculation, my previous statement about our loan endeavor, Ben may be our first customer.
All right.
Yeah, sign him up. Okay, so I did see some chatter online, a lot of comments. What camp are you falling in here? And chat, feel free to chime in here. Are you wow, Padme, really disappointed they went that route, or Padme, good option?
Okay, so I'm gonna say my opinion is Padme, good option. Right? Get her out of the way. She's an operative. We need an operative in the game. I don't want to see Anakin come in as an operative. I don't want to see Mace Windu come in as an operative. I feel like they're commanders. That would make logical sense. They're generals. They're Jedi masters. I know everyone wants more lightsabers, but we have lightsabers, right? Let's get a gunslinger in here, mix it up.
Right.
I'm, I have no problem with it. I'm excited for it, and it's just now they don't have to do Padme. She's done. We've got her. She's an iconic main character. Luke's mother. She's good. The next, what other operatives are we gonna get? I know we got R2D2, but he's kind of weird because he's like multi-faction. So technically, she's not the first operative. I get it, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I have a feeling the next few are going to have lightsabers, and I know that's what people want to see.
Fair. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get one handmaiden in the box, and like handmaiden's on the table first and takes first wound, then Padme replaces that model.
Just yeah.
I mean,
uh,
that's pretty movie iconic. So
yeah,
I
it's
just
like
yeah, it's kind of
she.
like
Who knows what her command cards are going to be? Maybe she
fair.
could like
Yeah.
throw some people into the explosion instead of
Yeah.
her or something. I
Yeah.
don't.
The joke's on you. I didn't have a hair bun in today. That was my
Yeah.
handmaiden. Fair. So yeah, no, I don't know. I really like the sculpt. Man, I'm also really disappointed when I'm kind of going back and I like using Leia a lot, but man, I wish the sculpting that's happening now like was what our
Happened on
models
the
look.
original
Yeah. I
models.
mean, obviously there's a
I've had
progression. I'm a
I had
terrain
this discussion
yeah.
today at work.
Yeah, I'm a
So,
I'm a terrain maker. I'm not looking at the things I did 10 years ago because I'm equally disappointed in that as well. It was
mhm,
great at the time, and I think that's the caveat of this, right? It was great at the time. We thought it was awesome at the time. We have, a track record of I think improved sculpts throughout. I did hear Alex say at the start that he really was saying that this wave was the most impressive sculpts. I'm seeing that for sure. There's some other cool things for sure. I think when we see the droid tank come out, we are gonna be like, whoa, like, and then kind of going back to re-examine what the Gav tank looked like, or what the ATST look like, what the potential that they can do with the new plastics, I think is also a big plus to the detail
mhm.
level that they're able to add. So
Yeah, look
um
out, GW.
yeah, for
We're on
sure.
hard plastic now. Yep. Padme's sculpt looks like Padme.
Yeah.
Leia's does not.
N-
Han's does not.
yeah.
Hopefully they revisit those in hard plastic. I know Alex talked about that at Gen Con, or maybe it was Luke. Mentioned that at Gen Con that they're like, hey, when they announce sprues, they also announced that like long term goal is to eventually re-release everything on sprue.
Yeah.
So I
Jamie's
think we'll
asking.
see a Leia 2.0, but
Yeah,
just not
Jamie's asking
anything.
if we ever thought Leia was good. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really love the Leia sculpt ever. I just didn't like the blaster pose. However, I think we all thought that the models were cool when they came out. I mean, probably the only one that from the outset that I was like, was Han for me.
Yeah, Han does not look like Han.
No, and I think the initial paint
Leia
job,
doesn't really either, but
no,
hey,
but
it's.
I
I
could
was just
subscribe to
excited
that.
about the
Yeah,
game. Yeah.
yeah. Right. So, but no, I'm not unhappy with Padme being released either. I also think the operative role fits her role very well from the
Perfectly.
movies, right? She
Yeah.
definitely had that sort of espionage type feel,
Yep.
as I said with the body doubles, or the stand-ins, kind of, and then she had that dual role, that duality of her stance.
Yep.
I am Queen Amidala in the Senate, and then here I am, Padme, sneaking around and fighting and breaking into my own palace and all that cool stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Lots of subterfuge.
yeah, for
Very
sure.
cool.
Yep, for
Yep.
sure. Let's have a slide over to the cards here and use our
Ooh.
zoom enhance stuff.
Yep.
Less on the new tokens here. Actually, in fact, I don't see any here other than the fact that we do see what, an ion token there.
Yeah, it looks like arcs are gonna get some. I think it's the droid poppers.
Oh yeah, there
They
we
have
go.
like an ion grenade.
Yeah, they do have ion 1, range 1,
Yes. Yep.
and reasonable points. Three points for a grenade. We haven't seen that yet.
Is that three?
Well, or I mean, it looks like a 3 to me.
Oh man, if that's the case, that's
Maybe
kind
it's
of
not 3.
gross.
It just looks like a 3. But I
Hmm.
mean, I could be fooled. Maybe. Yeah.
I would guess it's 5 like any other
Yeah.
grenade,
Me.
but I
Me
can't
too.
really tell.
Me
It's
too.
too blurry for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Either
Chat.
way,
Chat
we
will
now
help us
have
out.
an ion grenade.
Yeah.
So
What do we got for ARC troopers here? Um, what's the points on Padme? I don't know, but it's less than 100, so gonna go with that.
I think it's
90?
90. Yeah, it's
90?
2 digits.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like an 8, and I doubt it's 70. So yeah, maybe 90.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
70 would
yeah,
probably be too
looks like
cheap.
90. That's what chat's saying here too. So
Yeah.
EMP is
So
5.
she's
It's saying okay. It
yeah.
just looks like a 3, but yeah, I could, like I said, it could be wrong.
Padme, right? So quick thinking, same thing as Jin.
Yeah, what's that?
Awesome.
What's that next word?
Authoritative.
Yeah, is that what it is? Authoritative. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
And
something something you may. I have no idea.
I think it has something to do with token sharing.
Okay, maybe. Yep. We're seeing that. Yeah, Padme is 90, getting lots of confirmations there. Pierce 1, Nimble Sharpshooter 2. So again, very much like a Leia
Oh
type.
no! I'm wrong. Exemplar is the token sharing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she can share tokens with friendly units at range 1 to 2. Green tokens.
Because that's
All
what
right,
the
so
Republic needed.
well, that's what the Republic does, right? And
Yeah.
she has quick thinking. So she's basically like a C3PO on steroids.
Yep.
She's putting more tokens into the pool at a larger range.
Speaking of which, that's the one thing I did catch on there. Secret mission on one of her command cards.
Yeah.
I think it's the one where I think it's on the divulge one I saw. I'm not even sure what pip that was that they showed, but Alex did confirm up to like you can have 2 secret missions.
Wow.
So yeah, just now does Padme escort R2 into the end zone for 2 extra points or 4 on breakthrough?
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, you're gonna
and they're passing tokens to each other.
That's what I mean.
All these dodges.
What are you gonna have? Like
she's got nimble.
Yeah.
Spends the dodge, gets it right back, right?
Or
she's got 6 health.
Does C3PO just dish the tokens off to Padme? Padme then does her own actions, does quick thinking, and shares them back.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I think that there's like a legitimate argument for like building a list archetype that revolves around Obi-Wan, Padme, and R2 and using Obi-Wan to kind of keep the defenses up on these two and moving both of them towards the end zone.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole archetype that you can build out for the faction that functions nothing at all like what they're currently doing.
I just got thinking about this. I'm like, okay, so you go R2 and Padme, you play Disarray, and you play something like Breakthrough. So you stack up everything, you bully all your your opponent's almost forced to go strong across from you. Because if they don't, you just walk your army into the end. And if you don't have 2 secret missions yourself, you basically have to kill, 2 to 3 extra activations over them just to score equal.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I like it. I love it.
I don't, because it's almost like, oh, geez, you line up.
I like it because I'm playing this faction. Like, I'm playing the 2 new factions. I love it. Yeah, new cool stuff. I can't even begin to read her one pip.
No, I don't.
Our fate is in your hands. I don't. I think it says Danger Sense too.
Yeah,
that's all I can really see.
Danger Sense. If we slide over to the ARC Troopers, love the amount of upgrades everything comes with. Definitely see Echo and 5s in there. We get
a standard DC-15 ARC Trooper upgrade who's got it looks like a sniper, red black, range 1 to 5.
Okay, so
critical 1.
And we have 2 units in here, so are we getting? Oh yeah, because we're gonna get the
strike.
Yeah, strike team in there as well. Scout 2, sharpshooter. tactical in here as well. Is that in?
Beautiful.
Is that impervious? Yeah, it is impervious.
Is that what it
Well,
says?
because I see Pierce X, right?
Yeah,
And
impervious. Yeah,
that's
awesome.
the
So they're red saves, but also impervious.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really sharp. And I like the weapon loadout here. Looks like they got a 1 to 2, then they got a 1 to 3, and then combat. They're pretty hardy too, with a black and a white
Yeah.
in there. So
Yep.
that's cool. Surge tokens, of course, as you'd come to expect. And then what's the lethal keyword again?
So it looks like it's something
While
about spending an
attacking,
aim to gain Pierce
spend
1.
up to 1 aim. Yeah, okay, there you go. Again,
Yeah,
Padme,
so
quick thinking, C3PO dishing off tokens.
yeah, token sharing. I think we're gonna need an RRG entry on lethal to
Yeah,
understand whether or not
you
you
can,
have to if it's like Rex's
yeah, have to have it
Q-tip.
yourself. Yeah,
Right. I
but
don't know.
I mean, is
But
there
I
a,
love it because they have tactical one, so they can move, shoot,
oh,
reposition every time, and still get Pierce 1.
okay, but I think maybe does the lethal keyword itself spend up to 1 aim token? Does that put just
Right.
a cap on it right there?
I just think it's so you can prevent getting like Pierce 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
think it's just like you can do this for one of your aims,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Up to one,
Yeah.
and then so you're
Yeah.
maxed at basically adding Pierce 1. Because I mean, like I said, if you quick think, if you whatever, what's C3PO's it's not coordinate,
Calculate
calculate
odds.
calculate odds, gives you another one.
Yeah.
They have their own aim token. They're spending aims. It's just I would get a little bit ludicrous pretty quick. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think the up to 1 caps you at adding Pierce. So still,
Yeah.
Pierce
But
is one of
this
those
is going to be
fearing
really
tier we
interesting.
yeah.
This is going to be really interesting because they, like Rex, they have the Scout tactical combo.
Yep.
So right off the bat, you play these guys in a Rex list. Like, how many tokens do you have in play being shared in like turn 1?
Yeah.
Maybe you put offensive push on a couple of your phase 1s or phase 2s. You can start with a true, like, ridiculously strong Alpha Strike.
Yep.
Just tons of aims in play to be shared around, a bunch of surge tokens. Yeah, it's looking very interesting with these guys. So
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm
we don't
excited
we
about it.
don't really know the strike team loadout here, so it's hard to speculate whether it's going to be, something that you see somebody taking 3 of or not here. So,
Yeah, but it's just goes to show you they have access to a sniper. It's
yeah.
interesting that their sniper is tied to having to aim to get its pierce, but it's red black. And when you have surge tokens from aggressive tactics, like that's a pretty efficient sniper.
What
The
what
other thing is
what
we're not seeing
range is
it's
on that?
it's 1 to 5. It's just
1 to
like the
5.
other
Okay.
snipers.
Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
they printed the 5 on the
Yeah,
card
I
this
just
time. It's
noticed
not
that. I
on
was
the
like,
box.
yeah, it's just the first time we've seen that. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. They also like they showed this in the article, but not in the image that we have here. But the jetpack,
Hmm.
the jetpack is interesting because it's a 10-point upgrade that gives them jump 2, but also if you put it on Rex, because you're allowed to equip it on Rex, it's a 5-point upgrade on Rex.
Okay.
So that's cool. So I love the idea of Rex with jump 2, and he still has tactical, and now he can like
So,
dive over a building and move towards you and bring you 2 aims or something.
oh,
Lots of
yeah.
cool stuff.
Jumping
You
up the
know?
jumping up the gunslinger stuff is
Yes.
crazy. Yeah.
I love it. I think that's good. It's like a lot of people I've noticed in their list building for Republic right now are putting environmental gear on Rex, but for 2 extra points you can give him jump 2, which is
Well,
just like
yeah.
infinite better.
My my
Like
sc- my school of thought is this. Anytime you have a gunslinger speed 2 unit, if you have to slow that unit down, you've killed the efficiency of that unit.
yes.
So E-gear becomes an auto include on things like Han or Rex because you can't afford to not be shooting with those units.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But
That's my.
now for 2 extra points, you can change that into jump too.
You
Oop,
bet. That was me. There
that's
we
okay.
go.
That's yeah. Get excited, bring it back. Okay, the one other thing I want to point out, we don't really know what they do yet, but Echo and Fives,
Yeah,
it looks like they have two
2
health,
health. Yeah, for sure. I was just looking at
which is
that.
cool,
Yeah.
but also weird because if you put them in a squad and they take a wound, does that mean I can get Hunter off of something that I normally wouldn't get Hunter off of?
Here's another
That's like
question.
kind of a risk reward.
So we don't
Yeah.
know, do they become the leader of the unit? Because if they don't, do they have to take
Uh-huh.
do they have to take the next wound if you shoot at the unit as they are a wounded model?
I don't know, but okay, so they did mention something on
Oh,
stream.
okay. So
They
again, didn't
I
watch it
they
yet, so
I believe that they said they do become the leader.
okay.
I believe they also said, which I think is extra interesting, is that even though Echo and Fives are designated as ARC troopers,
Yes.
they can be put as
In,
the unit leader of core trooper units as well.
yes, Tyler was just pointing that out in chat as well, so thanks for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler. Good call. But yes, yeah, so you can actually have like an Echo led phase 2 squad and still just have a strike team with like a DC-15 ARC trooper in it.
So here's the
So
clone
a lot of options.
here's the clone flavor now. Now you can have like
Mhm.
a Kenobi, Padme, R2, C3PO, Rex, Fives, Echo. Like you just basically have the character armies now.
Yeah, they said it was going to be the elite army in
Yeah.
this game.
And flavorful
It's
at that
it's
point, right?
definitely happening.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can see people who really enjoy the sort of narrative type element, not as a narrative game, but really wanting to have a story behind the army or really want to fall into the lore of the unit builds, right?
Hmm.
It's not just generic white stormtrooper or,
Right.
unnamed rebel.
Right.
It's now like, here's my Fives unit, here's my Echo led unit, here's Rex, here's C3PO, here's Padme. We have those characters in our operatives and our commanders and the other forces, but to a lesser extent than it looks like the clones are going. We
I
even
actually
go ahead.
go ahead, Sean.
I was just gonna
I got a story to tell.
Sure. I was just going to say, even in our releases of the tanks, what we're seeing is, named commanders. So I
Yes.
really like the flavor that they're adding. Plo Koon is one of my favorite characters. So I
Hmm.
really like that he's included. Too bad he's just kind of a leader of a tank, although I kind of like the tank. It's growing on me. But
Hmm.
I really like how they're really characterizing this army.
Yeah, me too. Here's the thing. I have a whole little thing I'm gonna do with my clones that I kind of this is my little personal touch I'm putting on my own army. Um, I bought an acrylic paint pen that is a .2 millimeter tip. I have a unit of phase 1 clones that I'm gonna make a little tick mark on their armor every time I play a game. I have yet to put them on the table because I'm still assembling my clone army. And I've only played clone armies with like stormtrooper proxies. So I'm getting my army ready. I'm thinking about bringing it to this next prime in Grays Lake for the first time. And I think that's where I'm going to start this. And so my little story is going to be I'm going to take these fresh, shiny clones and make them war veterans.
Nice.
So I love the idea of like carrying forward some sort of narrative or some story with your army and having all these conversion options and stuff. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with that.
Speaking
And
of
that's why I think this is the most exciting army in the game for me.
So speaking of conversion, if we're talking about pre-show time up to now, you're at about 3 hours 20 minutes.
Hmm.
What do you have for us in terms of what's finished on the workbench?
I've only built 2 droids because I
That's that's
stopped. I got
that's
too excited about the
that's,
conversation.
that seems about right.
I got too excited. I'm trying to squint and read these cards.
Joe's Droids
Um,
coming to you, Worlds 2022.
Don't worry, guys. I only lost one V1 head so far in the carpet.
He's opened two and he's lost one. So
Yep.
it's a 50% casualty rate. Hey, don't
Yep. It
worry. I
happened.
think if you message Ben in a few weeks or months, whatever, whenever they come out, he'll have a couple extra Cad Bane heads.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
swap. Do some
yeah,
cool conversions.
yeah. I
Let
mean,
me know.
he'll have a billion. So just saying. Um,
All right.
awesome.
I think we need to jump into Vader and Luke because we've been going on a little tirade here,
We
and
we we love it. We love it.
yeah, we're too
Um,
excited.
we got four slides left. We're doing well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're only on 2 units. So here we are. Let's slide over, have a little quick look here at this. We'll get into the cards, which will really be the meat, but we've seen all this, so we're talking about it late. However, we're
This
talking
is
about
this
it
is
to be
yeah. This
relevant
has all
because
been
the primes are
this
coming.
is
Yeah.
yes. This has been in our hands. This has been spoiled on Tabletop Simulator and through articles for weeks now, but we had a request from Jay to please do a little segment on Luke and Vader because he knows he's going to see some people playing them this weekend at the Primes and he just wants some info. That's totally fair. Happy to do it. Definitely not considering myself an expert by any means, but I do have some interesting things I've been thinking about and chatting with other players about, so we can kind of talk through some of those things. First of all, Luke, amazing sculpt. Much, much better sculpt, in my opinion, than the first go around. His face actually looks more like Luke Skywalker, more like Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Clear improvement here. I think that Operative Luke is like disgustingly good, as if we didn't need a better Luke because he's already so amazing. But here we
Yep.
are, an even better version of Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are
I
your
mean,
thoughts? You want to just dive right in, or
I just think that tenacity, you can fit tenacity in there, I believe. Yes. Tenacity on Luke seems to be almost an auto include
yeah,
just to make that dice pool so ridiculous. I
just
mean,
to make sure you die?
just to make sure you can actually one shot eight B1s when
Yeah.
you come swinging in.
No big deal. 7 black, 1 red, surge to crit. Seems
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I I got this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and just to boot, the Son of Skywalker turn, when you just throw 16 dice in
Yep.
melee, I mean,
Yep.
what honestly is standing up to that? I don't even care if
Probably
you
killing
red,
whatever you're talking.
yeah, exactly. Even if you have red with surge defense, it's 16 dice coming at you, it's just ridiculous.
Well,
Um,
and here's the thing. You're surging to crit. You have impact 2, pierce 2. It's very likely you could kill a tank.
you could, yeah. I mean, surge crit for sure. Yeah, impact. I mean, it is obviously it'd be very contingent on how many like natty crits or surges you roll. I mean, because we all have those times when you just roll a bunch of hits. Everything's hits, but
Mhm.
there's none of those surges, none of those hits in there. But yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I'm committing him to run out on my Son of Skywalker turn in the hopes that I do that.
Mhm.
Might leave him a little bit exposed, but I think if you have a
Yeah.
wounded tank at all, then it's a pretty solid bet that he can go in and do that for sure.
But here's the thing. That's why you chase him with a generic officer who's just
Yep.
throwing him a dodge every turn.
Yep. Yeah.
Go ahead, let that officer die. I'll just make Luke my commander. Now
Yeah.
my army's courage 4.
Yeah.
Don't
I'll just.
care.
I I think we're throwing out bounties on in future tournaments. I want to definitely throw the bounty of make Operative Luke panic off the table.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It
I've
is.
tried it, and I didn't have an easy go of
You
it.
need to
Uh,
start the turn with 8 suppression and not roll any off.
yeah, I don't know how often that's happening. There's some pretty nasty suppressive gun lines out there, but
Yeah.
that's gonna be pretty tough.
Yes. So,
Uh,
I mean, but like
yeah,
John Griffin, I don't want
that's
to
a
have to
good
pay
bounty.
my bounty.
Yeah, so just make it impossible.
Exactly. Just
That's a
not try.
great bounty. Panic the Jedi Master himself.
Yeah, fair.
I
All
love.
right, well let's
All
let's
right,
slide over and look at actual. Oops, that's not where we want to go. Are we doing Vader before we do cards? Are we doing
let's
cards?
talk. Let's just talk Vader. We'll talk
Sure,
Vader for a
sure.
second.
Then
Then
we'll do cards
yeah,
for both.
why not?
Okay, fair enough. Um,
I love Vader sculpt.
I
It's that
don't.
iconic. No, really, it's from
No.
that comic book. It's from
Yeah.
that awesome
I don't
Marvel
know.
comic.
I
Yeah.
have an open mind because we were talking about doing some unboxings, which we probably will just crack them open later on, but not on this episode. But I heard that he's a little bit beefier than the original.
Hmm.
But I haven't verified that myself. But no, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
I I look at Vader here
It's
and it
that
looks like he's
Ralph McQuarrie concept art that they
yeah.
turned into that Marvel panel.
Here's the
I
thing.
like it.
Here's the thing. To me, it looks like he's like sulking off, like I'm taking a temper tantrum. I'm taking my lightsaber and going home, is what I look when I look at this. However, the box art Vader sculpt, man, I would have loved that. Two handing a
Real,
lightsaber,
yeah,
that to me is awesome. I would have preferred
yeah.
that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, he just like to me, he just looks like sulking Vader. Not that he can have facial expressions, but like
Mm.
I, I almost want to have like a teddy bear dragging out of his other hand. Like just to me, I'm not loving it. That's all. I mean, whatever.
Okay.
To each
All
his own
right.
for sure. But yeah.
I respect it. I
Chat, let
respect
us know
it.
what you think. But
Yeah. Slightly different Vader outfit than the original core set model,
yep.
which is interesting because, as we know, if we're the diehard nerds, we've seen that Vader actually has a completely different suit in every film appearance that he's in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like they're giving us more of that, like Rogue One, I think,
Yeah.
sculpt,
Like
which is cool.
have you noticed that they've really tried to incorporate a lot of textures into all the sculpts kind of in the
Hmm.
last few releases?
Yeah,
Almost quite honestly from Bosk up. We've seen it with
yeah,
Bosk. We've seen it with the Dewbacks. We've seen it with, the Tauntauns. We've seen like lots of really elaborate textures. Padme's scarf. We've obviously with the Vader texture here. Let me just quickly jump back here and see. We don't really see it in clones because they got the armor, but um,
yeah. Padme's scarf. Yeah, that's a good call out.
where
Yep.
is who am I looking for here with Cad Bane? Cad Bane maybe not so much there, but he definitely has his even his clothing. A lot more wrinkles, a lot more a dynamic look where it's not really that real polished, finished look
Hmm.
that we've seen in some of the other stuff with the smooth plastic. So yeah, just something
Yeah,
that I noticed when I was looking through here. A lot of textures.
cool.
Uh,
Yeah, I love that like little undersuit and stuff. That'll be nice. I mean, even if you want to do a contrast paint job, that'll show through nicely, I think,
yeah,
with all these textures.
for sure. And again, just with the weapon positioning here, more so with the Luke than the Vader. Vader's kind of got a little bit more maintained within the threshold of the base. But if we just pop back over to Luke here for a second, again, kind of worried about what he would have been in the this previous to the mention of the fact that they're going to kind of give us that tool, whatever that looks like. But I can see people like, no, I'm going to chop off my lightsaber, and this is Luke he hasn't pressed the button yet. So here's my, my Luke without that. But cool. I don't mind his sculpt there, and I'm much happier now that the rules are going to be seemingly changed for line of sight. So
Yeah.
um, nothing really surprising in terms of this stuff. We've talked about it before. Lightsaber, pretty straightforward,
I'll
relentless.
tell you I'll tell you what I hate about Operative Vader.
Sure.
I hate Spur.
Yeah.
I hate
On
that
on
he
a
has to
Courage 3
pay.
model.
Well, yeah, and then I just hate that he has to pay a suppression tax to move at speed 2, but like Obi-Wan and Luke don't. Right? And I get that he has relentless instead of charge, so he can do a ranged attack instead of just like the melee, but it just feels punishing to have to suppress him to move him at full speed.
So
Um,
what's the alternative there? Could you make him speed 2 and not make him for lack of a better use of the word here, OP as an overpowered, not as an op? Would he just be too strong?
I think if you go speed 2 with him, maybe you have to do like courage 2 or something. But I guess that then you start getting into the weird discussion where it's like, well, is that thematic? Vader doesn't run. He's not
Yeah.
scared. So I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe just change the way Spur functions completely and make it he pays one suppression and he can use it for both of his moves instead of speed 2 that's 2 suppression. Because this in my testing of Operative Vader, I found that I gravitated toward tenacity when I list built, and then at the end of the game, I was like, I should put endurance on him and
Yeah, I
not
was gonna say
tenacity
endurance feels better.
because it's like you're really tempted to get that full dice, and he rolls one less red than his commander profile. So if you want him to match his commander profile, you kind of just like want to put tenacity on him, but if you're just assuming that he's never going to get shot combined with his spur movements, he's almost always going to be at like 5-6 suppression, and that's just like a feels bad on him,
Okay.
whereas the commander like doesn't care about suppression. And I mean, I guess the benefit is he can get cover now from
Yeah.
suppression where the commander profile can't.
So this is
But
what I was gonna ask you.
yeah.
Yeah. So not to talk about like not to try to change a unit that's just come out, but let me
Mhm.
just spitball this idea with you. So we have droids who don't suffer loss of actions but can panic and take suppression. What do
Right.
you feel about a unit potentially, and maybe this could have been here? What about a unit that doesn't, so let's just say we're using this profile, who takes suppression,
But doesn't lose actions.
but no, actually, it would be the contrary to him. So he takes the suppression from Spur,
Mm-hmm.
but the suppression you would have a no courage, like make him like regular Vader, no courage at all. So the Spur
Okay.
actually puts the suppression on him, but the suppression does require him to lose actions, but never builds up enough where he panics. So you can
Yeah.
move you can move the Vader, because I don't like it either, but I don't
I
know
don't
the
like it.
I don't like the
And I
alternative here.
I think Spur is just a horrible keyword because
It
it
is.
really hurts Dewbacks and it really hurts Vader for no reason. It's like the other faction, the Rebels, just do both of those two archetypes so much better.
Yeah.
Operative Luke doesn't have to worry about his suppression. He's Courage 4. Why isn't Vader Courage 4?
Yeah, I agree, because
Just make Vader Courage 4.
double
Like,
spur double spur
yeah,
puts him at over half of his panic value.
it's just
It's
bad. It's
Yeah. Jamie's
I don't know.
suggesting a fearless keyword here. I'm
Yeah,
presuming he's thinking fearless is you do not suffer, suppression doesn't affect you, but you still take. I do like that Vader gets to cover. That is something that I think he was missing before. Again, he's not a surging Vader here at all. So, the ability to dismiss something, because he's only a 6 health Vader, which, it's 25% less than an 8 health Vader. And now Vader basically feels like every other Rebel commander.
yeah.
I
And
mean, yes.
he's costed so close to the original model. I'm just like,
Mhm.
I just don't think I ever take the operative profile. I
Yeah.
buy this pack for the command cards and put it on Commander Vader. That's my thought.
Right.
Just my thought. Not saying you
Oh.
can't make it work. He might be really interesting in a Krennic Compel list or with
Mm.
like a DTF Death Trooper. But now we're talking pricey stuff, so we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Just curious too, can you compel and use spur?
Yes.
So you take
Yes.
2
You
suppression.
take 2 suppression.
Ugh, it's
Yeah.
brutal, because if you did that, I mean, you obviously can't do
Yes.
that twice, but if you spurred on the second one, you're now at threshold.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess if you really want to dive before you like inevitably panic.
Yeah. I mean, you're not doing it on a voracious, or you're not doing it on a Annihilation Loom's turn, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know about this design. I have issues with it, but the command cards are incredible. So why don't
Yeah,
we take a look at Luke's
Sure.
first, and then we'll
Yeah.
jump into Vader's.
Sure. Luke, there we go. There's Luke's.
All right, 3 pip. I am a Jedi.
Oh, we could have also looked at the cards in this size here, so
Oh
fair
yeah.
enough.
Well, yeah.
Fair
All
enough.
right.
Who built these layouts? Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
I I am a
right
Jedi.
off the bat, right? Yeah, I am a Jedi. But just to go back to his profile for a second, Master of the Force one, awesome because he's able to ready a Force power
Yep.
and disengage. So there's an argument as to whether or not it feels mandatory to staple Force push on him, whereas before you always wanted to. Now
Yeah.
he can melees for
Push
free. So
push a
yep.
unit out. Make sure you can disengage if you get in with two.
Yeah. So, but let's talk. I am a Jedi, right?
Sure.
Luke gains surge to block, right?
Hmm.
Already awesome because he's rolling red saves, and cannot perform attacks. When he's issued an order, he may choose up to 2 enemy trooper units at range 1. Those units cannot perform attacks. Um, right off the bat, like my head, when I first saw this card, my head went to, well, now you will die is useless. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, it has to be range one, so you're.
right.
I
So you
mean,
got to last first and dive on him. But can you imagine? I mean, range 1 still means melee. So can you
yeah.
imagine double moving into melee with Palpatine, getting a charge on him, and then opening with this card, and just being like, okay, you thought you were gonna now you will die me because I'm engaged with you, and you were just gonna kill me, but neither of us are gonna be able to do anything this turn. Neither of us are gonna be able to attack, and your entire plan with Emperor Palpatine is completely shut down.
Can I just add this in? Can you do that? However, use force push Palpatine out from you. He can't now you will die, but he can definitely just get killed.
Yes, you can, or you can just disengage. The
Yeah, I
only
mean,
stipulation is you cannot perform attacks. It
yeah,
doesn't stop you from moving.
I know. It's like I'm gonna push Palpatine out, and now
Hmm.
I'll move into melee, so I'm safe. Palp's exposed,
Hmm.
and we'll just open up on him.
Just open up on them. Yep, it's really an interesting card, and it's going to be really scary. And it's there, like it's telegraphed. You got, but like back to Jay was asking us to deep dive on these, so this is for you, Jay. Anticipate anticipate this card. If you're telegraphing your big one pip with any of your characters, I'm gonna whipcord. I'm going to now you will die. I'm gonna play any of my awesome one pips, Obi-Wan's one pip, anything like that. Be prepared to potentially be completely shut down for a full turn with this card. If you're going up against any Luke profile, doesn't matter if it's a commander or an operative, both can take this card now, and it's gonna have some really interesting uses. This can shut Dooku down, his big one pip, or Grievous. Can you imagine if Grievous plays his one pip where he does his range one shot at everything, but gets shut down and cannot attack, stops him in his tracks.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy card. So I think right off the bat, I'm just noticing like I got to go all in on Luke. I have to kill Luke because his command hand is too good. Let's look at his two pip.
Sure.
Like,
That's not
do you
what
have
we
any?
wanted to do.
I mean, oh, do you have any other thoughts on like I am a Jedi uses, or should we just go on to the two pip?
Well, I just think that it's fantastic for that. It's preventative. It's like, I mean, I'm just thinking of all the things that I don't want to have shooting at me, right? I'm also thinking about the Palpatine. So it's like, all right, well, Palp, you can't shoot, but you know what? That pull the strings Death Trooper unit that you like to do, yeah, I'm just gonna, also put that
Shut
on
them
them.
down.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's two. I also put up the hashtag support your weekly podcast just for you, Jamie. So you know, special episode for you, dedicated all to you. Full of surprises, of which Joe and I
Luke's,
are weekly. So yeah, so Luke
yeah,
Skywalker here. Luke Skywalker gains one dodge token because that guy needs to be more defensive. While defending, he rolls a number of additional white dice equal to the courage value minus the number of suppression tokens that he has. So
right.
whatever that
So
looks like.
if he has one
One,
suppression token on him, he's
yeah,
courage 4. He gets to just
yeah.
add three
Three,
white dice to his
yes.
defensive roll.
Yes. That
All the more
seems,
reason why you want to cash in that bounty and suppress the crap out of him, right?
yeah.
Because that
I
shuts
mean,
his card down, but that's not
keep
easy to do.
keeping him suppressed. I mean, they're white dice, yes. He has no surge, so it's really a, a 1 in 6 that he's adding in there. But he is going to gain a dodge. He
Hmm.
is rolling red dice, so I mean, if you're not putting big pools into him, you're you're likely not getting a lot of damage through here.
I'll
So
tell you what. So I played against Paul, and he played this card on me, and I was shooting. I was like lighting him up with my B1s, and I was getting nowhere. Through his red saves plus his extra white dice, he just was like taking zero damage.
yeah,
So this card it can definitely keep him safe. It also gives him that clutch dodge.
yeah. Does
You know,
this card telegraph heavy, like it's not coming out if you have him suppressed?
I think so.
Like, I mean, do you just keep it from basic? You either basically gets played for a dodge token.
Yeah, and
If
and I also like this is one of those things where again you kind of go, well, I gotta weigh whether or not I feel like this card's worth it,
that's what I
right?
mean,
Because doesn't his other two pip also give him a dodge?
hmm, yeah,
My
that one,
ally is the
yeah,
force, and
'cause
and
that
it's
one's
like,
two
okay, so
troopers as well, I think, on that one.
exactly, so it's like,
Yeah,
do you want to play a two pip and just issue orders to Luke? How
yeah,
controlled do you want your army to be? It depends what your list is. So,
yeah.
yeah, I can see cutting this, but I can also see why you would take it. And I've seen it used against me, and it just like shut my whole turn down.
Here's the
So
thing, right? If you're running RTs in this list, are you just taking turning the tide? Because
probably,
you know what I mean? So because you're trying to get
and
those vehicles and
yeah,
you're gaining the inspire, which in this case may be your counter suppression anyway,
I think so.
right?
But
So
again, it's something to keep in mind. You don't know your opponent's command hand. It's something you got to look out for.
yeah,
If your opponent dives their Luke and exposes him early or
mhm,
something, you might want to think, he's probably going to play this, or
yeah.
or at least it could be up his sleeve. I don't know.
And
So
Rancor is confirmed, so we're good there.
yeah, rank.
Complete with Luke Bone.
Yeah,
All right, let's have a look at this completely broken card.
this
I mean,
card
I mean,
just
I don't want to
this
pass
card just.
judgment, but
I gotta be honest. This card pisses me off
well,
because because
there goes our
yeah,
YouTube rating. So
yeah, as if what
I have
as
to
if
make it.
Luke,
It's not child friendly anymore.
oh man, sorry. As if Luke it didn't already have a ridiculously strong one pip. Let's give him pull the strings for a turn.
Yeah.
So you serve your master well. It's a free action. Choose a friendly non-commander, non-operative trooper unit at range 1, or a suppressed enemy non-commander, non-operative trooper unit at range 1. Perform one free move or attack action with that unit. If it is an enemy unit, it can attack and start a melee with other enemy units.
All right,
So
Jamie, listen up
this
here.
this is what's important to remember for those of you who are building out your Lukes. You're probably going to want to take Jedi Mind Trick on Luke.
Yeah.
Okay? Luke has Master of the Force, so he doesn't care about exhaustible Force cards. Jedi Mind Trick being one of them.
Yep.
The stipulation here, in order to do this free action attack on your opponent, is that they have to be suppressed.
Yep.
So Jedi Mind Trick puts 2 suppression on them at range 1 to 2. Your charge range is also essentially just inside of range 2. This command card effect requires range 1, so you're going to fulfill that condition of the Jedi Mind Trick range. You're going to exhaust that, put 2 suppression on them. If they're Courage 1 or Courage 2, they'll instantly be suppressed. You can then trigger this effect on them to make them attack something else. In that same game I talked about earlier with Paul, he played this card against me. He had one of my beefier B1 units one-shot one of my weaker B1 units. Just quickly deleted an activation off the table with my own squad and then still got to double move, charge into another B1 squad, and throw 8 dice at them and wipe like pretty much the whole squad out.
So just to be clear here, Joe, this is a free action that he gains.
Yes.
Does not have to occur prior to Luke Skywalker moving.
Correct. So
you can move first.
You can actually double move into something, charge them, then do Jedi Mind Trick, then do this.
So effectively, now in order to do this, you're going to need to have range 1, but that basically means you can start as far as just under range 3 from a unit to make this happen.
So bear in mind, if you're playing against an Operative Luke, that crazy strong range 3 threat bubble. And if you're running a unit like Snow Troopers with flamethrowers, be prepared to know that Luke can potentially make you flamethrower your own squad.
Yeah, and so Paul Watson flying in from the top turnbuckle, verifying that in fact he split fire and killed 2 units.
There you go. Okay, even more ridiculous. I was so just dazed and battered from the beating I was taking that I didn't even remember that detail. Yeah. There you go.
You had PTSD after that game.
Yeah, that's another thing. Oh, I'm just gonna split fire.
Split fire, exactly what I was gonna say. So if you had some like frag snows, you could. I mean, I should say, if your opponent has frag snows, you could split fire that unit off a relentless move, or off a move rather, to then flame one unit and frag another unit. So I mean, what if they got armor? It's just like, oh, sorry. Here comes
it has to be
no. What I'm saying is your frags into your opponent's armor.
Yeah, I mean you could.
I mean, here's some free crits for you, or concussion grenades or whatever. Exactly. Yeah, concussion grenades if people are running them, that's pretty rare, but surge crit. Geez, that feels bad. Or of course, Death Troopers shoot another squad of Death Troopers, or Death Troopers shoot Krennic. That doesn't feel good.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna real quickly have my biggest dice pool in my army. Just shoot at my super soft white save commander. Oops. Yeah. What just happened? I served my master.
Krennic just plays deploy the garrison, puts the standby token on the Death Troopers off an entourage, and in turn they turn around and eviscerate them. That seems really, really fitting.
I've had enough of this government. Yeah, it's nutty. I mean, this card is just so good and so scary.
Should verify as well too, Joe. I think it's important to point out that let's say that a unit has tokens. You actually can spend that unit's tokens when you perform the attack with them.
Yeah.
Insult to injury. Now
it's fine. We'll just aim and shoot with Surge's names, the Z6 clone right at your Obi-Wan.
Here's a question. Can you actually use the share token ability on the clone? You cannot.
I don't think so. No,
because would that ever be?
They covered that in a previous stream.
Okay,
where they were saying you can only spend the tokens that you have on yourself.
Because that would be abusive. It's like I'm choosing. Yeah.
The same thing with this is a good point too. The same thing with a melee engagement. So this says if it's an enemy unit, it can attack and start a melee with other units. Mm-hmm. However, as soon as your turn ends as Luke, that unit then becomes friendly to you again, and then they're no longer engaged. You can't be engaged with yourself for the whole turn. But for that attack, for the purposes of that attack, if I wanted to, serve your master well and make your own Royal Guards charge your Palpatine or something and hit him, that attack can happen.
That doesn't feel good.
And then as soon as exactly.
It's the opposite of Guardian.
Yeah. He's like, what's happening? What?
I thought he was the Senate.
Yeah.
Man, just feels bad. I just don't want to see this card. It's just It's one of those things. It's a trick. It's like the equivalent of maximum firepower on Veers. You just know it's happening. I can't do anything about it. But this
Did
one
we really
here,
need to make Luke's one pips even more disgusting? Like, come on, FFG. What just happened?
yeah. And the thing is, on this turn, Luke Skywalker himself is not prevented from attacking.
Exactly.
He's just doing so much here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Luke. He's
Ouch.
super good.
Yeah. I mean, we're late covering him. It's fine. People have said lots of stuff. However, I think there's a certain relevance because I mean, people were talking before about him. They were theory crafting because he wasn't seeing action. You will see him this weekend. If
Oh
you
yeah.
are going to a prime somewhere, I'm gonna put it out there.
Man,
Somebody
if
will
I'm
have
playing
this unit.
Rebels, why would I not take him? Like, it's like he's
Yeah.
so good. All right. Well,
Paul's point, just one last point here from Paul, because seasoned Rebel player here, saying that you could also be tricky and start a melee that pulls a unit off an objective. A play that I use quite frequently. I love doing that. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like I can't reach the objective to get there myself, like key position, for example. So I'm just going to touch you to make you not touch it as well. Which truthfully, it's the net result's the same.
You do realize you can make your own tauntauns charge yourself in RAM.
Seems good.
Like if your opponent's playing tauntauns, or if you just want to, make your tauntauns go twice in one turn, you can do it on friendlies.
Yeah, you can.
It's just trooper. It's just non-commander, non-operative trooper. Creature troopers count. So do emplacement troopers. You can like pull the strings on your FD turret or something.
So so you can perform a free attack. Now here's a question. Just to clarify, a unit that's already gone in the turn can also potentially go again though, right? There's nothing here that says they have to have a
absolutely
that Z6 unit that's fired and used a fire support, on their turn. If there's another face-up order token, can you fire support? Or is that going to be the equivalent of I can't spend another token off another unit?
I don't think so.
Okay,
yeah, I don't
just
think
curious.
So.
I was just curious about that one too. Because I mean, I guess that
stupid.
Well, of course it is, but I mean, what part of this card isn't stupid? But I guess that the reason you couldn't do that is because I don't think you could force your opponent to flip another activation token over.
You're also not even exhausting their token.
Yeah.
Like if they have a face-up token, they still have a face-up token.
Yeah, they still have it. Yeah.
Right. It's just pull the strings for one turn.
Yes, pull the strings, but burn their tokens off, which I think is.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Can you imagine on old coordinated fire turns? Like with old coordinated fire? Like when you used to have like 16 to 20 aim tokens. It's like, I'm just going to use that and I'll spend your 20 aim tokens that you've amassed here.
I wonder if people are going to end up shooting at their like Vaders and Palps or something, or shooting at their Vaders or Dooku's and being like, damn it, I got to spend the dodge on my Vader. Oh no, I just triggered deflect on my own.
Exactly. I just single-handedly killed two of my own activations.
Oh, and then Luke's still gonna double move and charge and finish me off. Okay,
just good. Why? Yeah. It's like when you're just ridiculous. Anyway, one pip, as I said, I'm gonna back up about 10 minutes and say completely broken, and Joe used other words to describe it. So
just watch that range 3 threat range. It's gonna happen. It's gonna hurt.
All right. Well, we are at 158. We got to wrap this in like 2 minutes here. We're losing people because it's like 1 o'clock in the East Coast. So
Darkness Ascends, awesome. Let's Vader get infiltrate. Nothing really more to say. It's super gross.
Gotta love that spur keyword.
Yep. Okay, let's go to his 2-pip. There's nothing really to. I mean, he's got infiltrate and scout. Let him get in and
force throw. Do you like that on him?
What are you talking about?
His range 1 to 2 force throw, blast, scatter.
Oh yeah, I
We didn't
do
really
like
talk
it for the
about that,
same
so
reason. I like it better than saber throw for
yeah.
me. I don't think I'm paying the points for saber
No, that's
throw,
what I'm
given
saying.
that.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's got scatter and
Yeah.
blast. So it's only 2 blacks. It ignores their cover. It's not great for damage, but it's better for scatter. And then you can do that same combo that you do with Dooku, where you're
Well,
like, now
he,
I'm gonna choke you. Now I'm gonna push you. Now I'm gonna, like.
here's the thing. Do you think that the blast, scatter, force throw, um, do you like Spur slightly better there when you can situationally move speed 2 to get into that melee potentially that you're looking for?
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah, for sure.
Because it's like I'm
100%.
not going to lose an
Yes.
action. I'm going to take these suppression, but I'm going to trigger relentless anyway. I'm going to get to you. I mean, I could one shot you. I could wipe the unit, but if I'm in combat with you, now I'm not getting shot. I'm not adding suppression. End of the turn, say I'm running whatever endurance or whatever I'm running on him. I'm just going to be like, yep, I'm going to take away 2 of these. I'm back to normal. I feel fine.
Yeah.
So I think Spur maybe becomes situational with that. So
Hmm.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Darkness Descends. Let's cover it off.
Gives them infiltrate. We get it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
And
All right.
and 2 surge tokens.
Yeah. 2 surge tokens is actually interesting because he doesn't surge
Yeah.
ever on either profile, so that's some defensive surges without
Yeah.
having to take a dodge.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't really have a lot to say. I think Commander Vader infiltrating and then playing turn 2 Master of Evil is pretty stupid and
Mm-hmm.
strong, so
Yep.
something to watch out for.
For sure.
Okay, let's go to his 2-pip.
There it is. Fear and
Yeah,
Dead Men.
I
Darth
like it.
Vader. While Darth Vader uses Deflect, the attacker suffers 1 wound for each blank result instead of each surge result. When an enemy
Yep.
unit at range 1 to 2 and in line of sight of Darth Vader activates, Darth Vader gains 1 dodge token.
Right. So basically, what this means is there is no way on this turn to wound Vader without taking wounds yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that it really makes you think, well, do I want to shoot at him this turn? Because every time I do damage to him, I lose bodies. Because he's going to get a ton of dodges. And every time he rolls a blank, yes, he takes a wound, but so do you.
Can I just point out for a second that, wow, this really sucks?
Mm-hmm.
So I played this,
Mm-hmm.
and you've played this,
Yeah.
and now I'm just going to shoot your Vader for sure, guaranteeing that I'm doing damage to one of your 2 units. Thank you.
Can you just can you just opt to not roll defensive saves?
I mean, it's like literally I can't play this card on the turn you play that because you
Yeah.
know I'm shooting Vader.
Yep.
This is
No.
it's gross.
Yeah, I know. But this is a cool card. I mean, regardless, I like it. It's like, hey man, do you really it's kind of that like slow down and reassess moment. Do I really want to start dumping into Vader? Because it's now so much riskier to do so. If
Or
Vader's on 1 wound
yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
maybe do it.
But I
But
think
like if Vader's healthy, do you really want to kill yourself?
I don't know. Do you think this is the card that you play when Vader has like 2 wounds left? It's like, okay, if I'm going down, I'm going down swinging, and
Yep.
by
Oh
swinging
yeah,
I
I
mean
think
deflecting. Yeah.
yep. No, it's interesting. I like this card.
I mean,
I think you take it.
he,
You just gotta you take it in your command hand,
and
right?
he gains a dodge token here, right? So you know,
Over and over again.
1 to 2 in line of sight activates. Yeah, Darth Vader gains. Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
gaining those dodges. He's probably spending them just as quick, right? Because you have to spend it to trigger deflect, right?
You got to remember though,
Yeah,
that effect is happening independent of
yeah,
Vader getting shot.
yeah,
So this is one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe I infiltrate with Vader on turn 1, maybe turn 2, or maybe I like go last with Vader on turn 1. Turn 2, I'm like really just diving into your lines and playing this, and it's like, okay, your 5 activations that are going to activate during your turn are going to give Vader 5
Yeah,
dodges.
and if
And
every
then
one of them
this,
doesn't
yeah,
shoot him, and if they don't
yeah,
shoot him, you're just making it more and more difficult for the next activation to
right.
do anything to him at all.
So yeah, so maybe instead of playing this when Vader's about to die, you play this when Vader's healthy and you just dive in.
Well, what I'm saying is situationally, yes, you could do that if that's the play. But I'm just saying that it's also this is one of those cards that doesn't necessarily telegraph when you have to play it because
Yeah.
it's very situational for what you're hoping to get out of it. Is this the
Yep.
anti don't kill Vader deterrent, or is this the I'm going to start the turn and you're either going to need to commit everything to me or you're not going to do anything to me?
Right.
But I just, as I said, I just think it's shut down entirely on Luke's one pip if you happen to be playing Luke. But I mean, the
Yeah.
classic Luke Vader matchup does happen, so fair enough.
All right,
All
let's look
right.
at his one pip because I think there's some cool uses of this. Vader's Might. Choose a friendly non-heavy unit at range 1 and place that unit on the battlefield within range 1 and height 1 of its current position. Then if it's an enemy unit, roll 1 white defense die for each mini in the unit. That unit suffers 1 wound for each block or surge result. So this is a cool card, but I think that it really has a lot of gimmicky uses that are very situational that are super interesting. All right, so let me just give you a couple of things. I was talking to Brad at the Prime, and we were just discussing like what are some crazy uses of Vader's Might. Here's one. What I'm gonna take Count Dooku and I'm gonna throw him on top of that roof.
Here's here's the question I have about that. When you say
Yeah,
on top of the roof, you
yep.
mean anything that's below height 1 though, right?
It says
It says because
place
it
that
says
unit.
within height 1, meaning if you're at ground level, you can't go to height 1.
I don't know. I think that's
Well, it
I think
says
that's
with it's
semantics.
well, it says within,
It says
right?
within range 1 and
And
height
height
1.
1, meaning you
Yeah.
couldn't go at height 1 because that's not within, right? It
Ah,
would be the standard just like with breakthrough. Within range 1 means you need to be fully within, not
I
straddling.
think I think I disagree with your interpretation of what height 1 even means, because when you define the battlefield, you don't care if something's 5 inches or 6 inches. You just say this is height 1 or it's immediately height 2. It's not this is less than height 1. It's just either height 1 or height 2.
Yes, so
So
my
you're
point being
there.
that you
This
can't go
card is
above
not
it.
this card is not restricting you from putting something on top of what you're defining as height 1. If you look at a building and you see it's exactly 6 inches, you don't go that building 6 inches. You go, let's say for the purposes of the game state for the rest of the game, we're calling this a height 1 building. So I'm just gonna throw you up there now. Like it's a height 1 building. You're now on top of it.
I
You're
guess I
not
would.
like it's not like, oh, that's 6.5 inches. Like that, I don't think that's how that works.
I guess we'll have to get a ruling. I just don't know
Yeah,
why you use within on that if you're not going
it's
to.
because it's for the range 1. It's like a sab bomb. It's got to be within range 1.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just wondering if it's used for if it applies to height or not.
So I would just say that everything I've seen on like TTS or any of the games that have been played was like, hey, that building's defined as height 1. I'm going to throw you on top of that
Oh, I,
building.
I have no problem with the designation of a building. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is if you define it as height 1,
Mm-hmm.
are you so typically when we play, we will measure things and we will identify whether it is less than or over height 1. And if it's less than, it's less than. If it's over,
Mm-hmm.
then we just call it height 2. So that when we do our terrain walkthroughs, we don't say this is height 1. We say it's less than or greater than, and it's just much clearer in terms of distinction. You don't because if it's exactly 6 inches, we'll just call it height 1. What I'm saying is this: if it is within height 1, then I guess that it precludes including anything that is potentially exactly 6 inches. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
asking if the distinctions
anything
required
that's
there.
exactly 6 inches just is height one, I think.
No, I don't disagree. But does the
Yeah.
within then preclude you from putting it at exactly 6 inches? I don't know.
No, because there's no height 0.75. It's just
Agreed.
height one or not.
Yep,
Like,
agreed.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm just
But
saying if I'm asking the question, potentially there's at least two other people in the world asking the same question.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think it's like whatever you define at the start of the game, you just play it like that.
Yeah,
It's, it's either height one or height two, or it's height three, which is essentially infinite at this point in the game because
yeah.
there's no jump three. But
I mean,
um,
so could somebody starting at height 2 terrain be placed onto height 3 and then,
and then be stuck there?
yeah,
Yes,
fair?
yes, I think so.
Because it says range 1 and within height 1 of its current position. If your current position
Yes,
is height 2, now
yeah,
you're at height 3 and can't go anywhere. I guess don't put
yeah.
your tauntauns on top of anything.
Or Boba. That's actually crazy. I mean, Boba can jump down,
Yes, he could get down.
but yeah, like that's weird interaction. I never even thought about that, but that's kind of cool. But yeah, but okay, so what I was getting at, I guess like not to get on too much of a tangent here, but you could use this to throw things on top of buildings that don't like to be on top of
Yep.
buildings because it's extremely suboptimal for them to be on top of buildings. For example, tauntauns
Yeah.
or Dooku. Like Dooku doesn't have jump. Like you want to shut down Dooku, just throw him on top of a building and he's
Yeah.
got to spend a turn like climbing down and doing nothing.
All the more reason to take Grievous, I guess. Like a guy like
Right,
Grievous doesn't care. Scale doesn't mean anything.
right.
But there is
Tauntauns and dewbacks though get
yeah.
shut down hard if they get thrown on top of a
Yeah,
building.
let's just
And that's
face
not
it.
the only
How many
use.
dewbacks are you throwing anywhere?
How many people are playing
That's what I'm saying.
dewbacks?
Yeah, but tauntauns for sure. And I mean,
Yeah, no,
and not
that's
only that, I mean, you could potentially put a tauntaun up on a building facing backwards. Now it's
yes,
like now if you want to even get down, you're you're either going off the edge or you're going off the building in the wrong direction. So even more frustrating.
totally.
You're burning
Um,
a lot more actions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this card's cool. I also like it to just like there's two other things. I like it to launch friendly units forward because you can
Yep.
do that.
Yep.
And there's an 8 activation Palpatine Operative Vader list that's floating around. Still jury's still out as to whether or not it's like extremely competitive, but it's certainly fun. But the idea of just launching Palpatine forward range one when he's only moving at speed one is a nice little play.
Well, here's the
Uh,
thing. Can you
yeah,
end up launching things on top of buildings as a preventative melee measure as well?
absolutely. Why not? Yeah,
You know,
that's a good call out.
I don't want to be
That'll be
hit. I don't want to
interesting.
be charged by your tauntaun. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that unit up on top of this building. They're still
Mhm.
functionally able to do everything I need them to do, but you no longer
Mhm.
can just get that relentless charge off on me.
Yeah, totally. No, that's smart use of it. I like it even for the damage. Like, maybe I'm just gonna use it to pull like a core unit or something, or even like a Death Trooper unit,
Yep.
range one towards me,
Yep.
make them take these saves and see if they just randomly die,
Yep.
and then charge into them
Yep.
because this is a free action.
Yes. And
So
you're upping the damage potential 50% over regular clamber rolls. So we're not just talking blocks now. We're talking, a 1 in 3, a 1/3 chance of rolling that damage out.
yeah, and when you do that to something that normally saves red with surge,
Yeah,
that's pretty risky.
it's
It's
a
almost
sig.
like piercing them for free.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're dropping like
Yeah.
22-point models or, for free, without having to
Mhm.
do any of your other stuff like this is a free action for Vader. So there's lots of things. Now here's a question. Free action. What about because this is at range 1, right? What about using force throw first to hit a unit at range 2, scatter it closer to you, then triggering this. So you're actually able to gain a little bit of additional range off this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you think about it, if you couple it with a relentless, you're actually potentially able to spur, move speed 2, reach range 2, scatter a unit, now at range 1, put that unit wherever you want. Like, so you're able to, this says range 1 on the card, but there's ways to make this an extensively longer range threat than just range 1.
Yep. And now it's like, oh, you do the slam. Oh, maybe there's 2 guys left in that Death Trooper squad. Okay, I'll just choke the DLT out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's some cool plays you can do.
Yeah, you're talking with choke. I mean, just to add that a little bit further, you spur to move speed 2. You shoot the unit to scatter it. Potentially where it is, your force power could actually be force push in here as well.
Yep.
You force push it even closer to you, and then you use the speed 1. I mean, you're able to really manipulating the because that's range. That's right. That's not even speed. You're really manipulating this unit. Actually, you could potentially do, because this is a free action. You could do this move with the unit off the scatter and then actually force push it after that.
Yep.
So yeah, just depending on the order.
There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can set up standby traps and push something around corners. Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff.
A lot of potential.
I think what happens a lot of times is you read a card and you can get narrowly focused in on what the card says, and you think becomes the effective range. Luke's one is the same thing. You look at it's range 1, I can do that at. Okay, it is range 1, but let's remember that you could move up to range 2 off your double move. So your effective range on that is range 3. Vader, you look at him and it's like, oh, range 1, okay. And I look, oh, he's only speed 1, but maybe he's actually speed 2 twice with a relentless attack that has scatter that then you can force push off. That's a considerably different distance.
Or hey, maybe you just maybe you double move, trigger relentless because you get into melee with something, you don't kill it, and then you hurl it towards the rest of your army, and then they can still shoot at it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do. I mean, a lot of cool options with this card. I think this is like an auto include if you're taking Vader.
Yep.
It's a super good tool for his kit.
I think that there's going to be a couple levels at which you're going to see people using Vader's might. You're going to be, and I don't mean this to be dismissive of any players, but I think you're going to see some players use the card at face value, meaning they're going to use the interaction that's directly written on the card as is. And then you're going to get people that are going to start coupling it with the force powers, with the scatters, with the spurs, with the, with the first last type plays to set up things. So you may have interactions that occur over turns. Like, ending of one activation, start of another. That real high level play is going to be stringing these cards together. And I'm anticipating seeing some cool things. Truthfully, when we're talking about these 2 1-pips, Joe, what I'm actually hearing is that I think we should come back and revisit these and actually show a lot of what we're talking about right now.
Think about this. Let me just give you, just to go back to that Palpatine Vader list.
Sure. Let's bring us back on camera here.
One thing I just want to throw out. So like a bunch of people are like, it's 8 activations, it's bad. Clearly we've seen Grievous Dooku at 8 activations can work.
Yeah.
You get that Palpatine Vader list. You could play Vader's Might, issue an order to Vader. You got the entourage on like a Royal Guard. You can probably comms relay that or battle meditation that back to Palpatine.
Yep.
And then you can do these things where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go with Palpatine, and my 2 actions are gonna be a pull the strings on Vader to shoot him into something.
Gross.
Second action is gonna be a standby.
Yep.
where I am behind this wall. Then Vader's gonna go and he's gonna launch something over the wall into Palpatine's standby.
Yep.
Like, and still get his 2 actions. You can really disrupt things in that turn.
Just a question about that. Could you in fact stand by first, pull the strings on Vader, have Vader shoot? Vader still gets to do the scatter off that as well. Then immediately trigger Palpatine's standby.
Yeah. Access to the scatter keyword in a Palpatine standby trap list is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You could do all kinds of crazy tricks like that. I want to mess with that list more. I've only played it one time and I lost.
It's pricey,
but I was like, I did not use this to its full potential.
Right.
It's got a lot of tricks. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
I think we've talked about it all. We've set it out. I mean, I think probably if you know everything that we're talking about, or if you've seen it, it's all kind of clicking together. You're seeing those synergies. I think new players potentially may be missing some of those interactions just simply because they haven't got reps or seen that sort of stuff. So if you're listening to this and you got all the way to the end of this 2 hour and 20-minute episode, just know this: we will actually do some visuals for this. We'll put you guys into the studio. We'll put the camera over and we'll show some model movement just to sort of, connect what we're kind of theory crafting here with what it looks like on the tabletop. Because I think if nothing else, the visual aspect of that will look comical. It'll look interesting for sure. For sure. I want to see a unit just move all over the place with no operation of its actual owner. I'll just don't even worry about these guys. I got them. I'll just move them all over until they're dead, and then I'll just let you know when you need to pick them all up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fantastic.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we've gone long here, right?
We've gone, well, I mean, with, what did we cover off? 10 different promo screens. We covered a lot today. So,
it's a good episode.
It'll be a lighter episode next week. Because we won't, hopefully just for my wallet's sake, FFG doesn't drop us with another like, hey, here you go, here's all your money gone. Surely they can't do that, but it would be really interesting to find out in terms of confirmation on when exactly people are going to be getting these. If they're shipping now, what does that mean? Does that mean they're in boxes in the US and Canada, or does that mean that they're shipping from the manufacturer in China and they're on the boat?
I hope that means that we're getting them on the release date on the website that they actually say that they're supposed to come.
It's rumored. No, I think it's probably a good sign that they actually switched it. I don't know if that's just clever marketing. Hey, we dropped these things today. Let's quickly change that to shipping now so that pre-releases you can start paying for, so we can lock people into buying today. I don't know. I mean, whatever. They're going to get our money. It doesn't really matter.
Hey, I'm buying it anyway.
They've already got your money. I mean, secretly, we're fine for the next 4 years because Ben just kept them in money for 4 years. So
FFG's not going anywhere, guys.
Ben has single-handedly secured that. So fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. There's still 10 diehards with us, so that's amazing because it's 11 o'clock where we are, which means it's really, really late in everywhere else in the world. So, except for California, they're still supper time there. But we'll catch you guys on Friday's Valentine's Day. So Joe pointed out. So I think maybe we'll see about moving Friday night fights early. If not, I'll see if I can rope somebody in who doesn't have somebody to hang out with. So I'm in my house, so I am where my wife is, so that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm always at home.
I'm gonna spend the evening with Faith. So
fair.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you guys just play Legion? Just make a romantic evening of it.
Yeah, she'll love that.
Yeah, you guys theory craft out your Op Vader Palpatine list and play it out. So
I could be like Matt Swick, lose to her and then quit the game forever and not show up at a prime.
Fair. Who did he lose to now? I'm missing a story here.
He lost to his wife.
Oh.
He's like, if I can't beat Joni, how am I even gonna play these sweaties at this prime? And didn't show up.
He's not wrong.
Awesome.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't want to forgive me, but I don't want to tell the man he's wrong. So yeah, Matt Swick, friend of the show. Friend of the show.
Yeah, good guy.
All right, guys, we're gonna let you go, and we'll catch you either at Friday Night Fights, Thursday Night Fights, or at the very least, we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
Definitely.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.